versus Beyond cards. So you would essentially get the same effect on card text on a canonical Magic the Gathering character, like a new name, all that new art of the Magic character that it's representing, and then just the same effect text. So those cards would be essentially the same legal playable card. But that was back when they only did like 10 Universes Beyond cards every couple years. Now they're doing hundreds every year. So, and they've admitted they won't be able to keep up. So it'll be interesting to see how that all shakes out in like 10 years, many licenses down the road. But
how long have they been doing this?
Universes Beyond is relatively new.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just so fascinating to me. Everything is Fortnite now, you know?
Fortnite crossed over with Magic. They have cards.
Of course. Is the bus a card?
Yeah, it is.
God damn it. What's up, Seth?
What is up, y'all?
What's up, dude?
How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Living the dream.
Y'all talking about Magic the Gathering now?
Yeah. We just happen to be.
Time, you know?
Yeah. I mean,
I would never bring it up.
I mean, he sent all the New Vegas card, like the Fallout New Vegas cards to me, and so we're talking about how the hell that's even possible. Oh
yeah.
So,
bro, you should see all the other shit they have. It's insane now.
I mean,
they've got
all the Baldur's Gate characters have a card.
How that game just came out.
Yeah, the crossover was last year. Baldur's Gate's existed for more than a few months.
Oh, okay, but you're not talking about like the new Baldur's Gate characters, like not like Shadowheart
are in there too.
But
the in there, yeah,
like all the cast has existed in Baldur's Gate lore prior to 3.
Shadowheart didn't exist before 3, but to be fair,
that's pretty cool then.
But to be Starion didn't either, right?
Starion didn't either. But to be fair, though, I guess that game's been in early access for like 4 years now. So
I guess that's true. I didn't think about it like that. But yeah, I didn't realize that the characters were new to BG3. I thought they were just, especially because they were in Magic. Like I was like, oh fuck.
No, yeah, there are some characters from older games that show up, but when they do, it's treated like a big deal. Like they're like, this fucker's been around, you know.
Yeah.
But not in a way that if you didn't play those games, you'd be like, this is kind of weird. Yeah.
Because they kind of only reference that they were in the past games. Like Jaheira, they reference that she's like old and all that kind of shit. But like, they never say like any of the other shit that she actually did.
You could find books, right, that talk about it, like history.
Mm-hmm.
But
like Merlin also, I forget his name. He's also
Elminster.
Yeah, Elminster. He's like he's like supposed to be the most powerful person in lore.
Yeah, his magic card is really good.
I never did finish Baldur's Gate 3.
It's not your fault.
It really isn't my fault. I gotta get B-Paul on the horn about that.
Yeah. I'm gonna put a shirt on because this hoodie's kind of warm. Be right back.
Okay. Good luck. How are you, Merced? What's going on, man?
Pretty good. Just chilling. Yeah. I was actually just playing Alan Wake.
So. I'm excited to talk to you about that.
It's a pretty good game so far, I think. I don't know what your feelings are on it because we haven't talked about it, but I have a couple of gripes with it.
I want to hear them. I don't know. I haven't talked to Crossley recently. Oh, he's back. Have you played Alan Wake at all, Crossley, or no?
No, I'm waiting on that one.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess this is the perfect time to say that we're back. Welcome.
Hello.
Hi.
You're listening to the Infinite Scale podcast. My name is William Chandler. I'm joined, as always, by Chris Crossley.
What's up?
He throws the deuces up to the camera just in case people can see him one day.
Yeah.
And surprise guest, surprise to him most of all, Christopher Merced is here.
Hello.
I I leave Crossley the job of wrangling additional people in. We had B-Paul on against his will a couple weeks ago as well.
Okay.
And yeah, Crossley, I just let him go and lasso random individuals, Red Dead style, and carry them onto the train tracks that is this podcast.
Well, Merced's been playing video games, and I want to hear his thoughts.
Dude, Merced is like a professional gamer now. The number of video games he's played this year fucking impresses me.
It's glasses on.
Yeah.
It feels like I've forgotten like half of them. But yeah, it's been fucking wild. Oh, we've also been watching a fuck ton of movies too.
Yeah, we have.
Really? Fuck,
way more than I've watched in the past, like legitimately like 5 years.
So, yeah, we've watched a bunch.
For me, I gotta pick one. It's like, okay, is this gonna be a movie year or a game year?
Yeah, that's what it generally feels like.
Yeah.
I'm in a pretty good position right now where I can kind of just do schoolwork and then figure out what the fuck to do with my time. And
yeah, fair.
so
I mean, this has been a game year for me.
Yeah. What would you say is like? What would you say? Are y'all gonna be doing like a game of the year one?
Yeah, of course.
Oh,
yeah, it's
okay.
been every year.
I was gonna ask what your favorite was.
I mean, I can.
That would be like spoilers, wouldn't it?
No, I mean things could change, but
yeah.
I mean, I'll say this. So far this year, it's been really tough. Like I had what I thought was going to be a clear winner, in Baldur's Gate, and
it changed.
And I feel like I mean, that's a great game, but I don't know. Alan Wake 2, I really like.
It's really fucking good.
I need to see where it goes. Cyberpunk, I've been really enjoying again.
What a comeback!
God, it's so good.
I don't know, man. There's some stuff still that I haven't played Lies of P. It's installed.
That's bro. Oh my god! If you like Souls games, there's like basically no reason to dislike that game, unless you legitimately just hate the setting or like. I don't even see how you could dislike the writing to an insane degree because it's really fucking good. Voice acting is great. That's a great game. You should
I am gonna play it. I saw some people online. I've discovered what the through line of Lies of P fans is to like Souls games. There's the Venn diagram of all of the really parry based Souls games and Lies of P fans is like a complete overlap. It's like the guys who like Sekiro and Armored Core fucking love Lies of P, like shit like that.
Yep. And Sekiro is my favorite second favorite from Soft Game.
Exactly.
It's like Bloodborne and then Sekiro.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Yeah, you got me.
Well, while we're before we get into the nitty gritty, what about you guys? What's leading the pack for you right now in terms of the year?
It's still Baldur's Gate 3. I just think it's like far and away, and that's not even to say like all the other games like they're not bad. They're still fucking great games. We've had so many fucking good games this year, but I mean Baldur's Gate 3
not Starfield,
like
really
in a league of its own. I fucking despise almost everything about Starfield. And I think I was saying this last night. Like the biggest offense with Starfield is how fucking boring it is. Yeah. That is the biggest offense of Starfield. It's like you have all of this fucking potential. One of the greatest things that you have, in your toolkit, one of the greatest things that you have is your writing, right? Like how you craft the quests, how they sort of like evolve into like a more memorable experience and everything. And they just did it so fucking poorly. Like almost every moment of that game, it felt like a chore more than it actually felt like I was like playing a game or interested in the characters or anything like that.
Yeah, there's like a fun transition over the course of 2 podcasts where it's like the first one was like a day or 2 after the game came out, and we're like figuring things out and trying to understand how we like it and what's happening, what's good, what's bad. And then the second one is just like it's literally like the doomer like face, you know what I mean? The guy like smoking, like it's just like oh shit. It's I mean, I don't think I'm as mad about it as you are, but
well, I think I probably hit the wall a lot harder than most people because I spend so much time just fucking playing video games. So when it came out, I was excited, and then I just dumped 40 hours into it straight in. And at that point, then I was like, okay, well, at this point, I should be like excited and having fun and like like just it wasn't there. It was not there whatsoever. And I just kind of had to come to grips, like literally, like you said, it's like the aware face of like, like you slowly age and then you're just like, oh, Jesus Christ, like what the fuck is going on? This is not fun at all. And I just realized I have not been having fun for like 10 to 15 hours.
Yeah.
Like, and there's nothing in sight that's going to like bring me back in.
You hit that point with every Bethesda game where you're like, okay, I need this to be over now, Like
for sure,
like all the way back to Oblivion, there's like a point where you're like, okay, the discovery is over. Like that's the thing is like once the discovery runs out, once the game mechanics are laid bare, you Bethesda games stop being as enjoyable, right?
Yeah.
And this like the discovery speed run is really fast in Starfield. Yeah. It's like because like even Skyrim, a game that I have a lot of criticisms of, you still the part where your brain realizes that you're not having fun anymore is like way later in that game. So
yeah. And also it truly does not help that it kind of got slaughtered back to back, with funnily enough on the tail end by Cyberpunk. And then in front of it was Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah.
And dude. So you get Baldur's Gate 3 and you get like this phenomenal voice acting, phenomenal writing, phenomenal quest lines, phenomenal sense of freedom, like in every aspect of the game. And then you move into Starfield and like I get it, they're attempting to do things differently, and the way you play the games is also very different. But in terms of quality and all of these different like game structures,
exactly,
for sure, it's just not even comparable. And then so like now you're in this open world and all this kind of stuff, and you're just kind of like, oh well, I'm a little bit bored now. And you put it down, and take a break, and then you move into Cyberpunk, and you're hit with this living, breathing world that's incredibly fucking immersive, and you're just like, oh shit, like Starfield could have fucking been this. Like this is what they could have done. And so it's like even the things that it had left standing for it in comparison to Baldur's Gate 3, it had now also just been completely stripped away from it, because now you're just like, wait a second, this thing is a mediocre pile of fucking shit, like in every fucking aspect. And I mean, like, to be fair, like Cyberpunk did come out and then it was sort of like a failure, and then they picked themselves up by the fucking bootstraps and took 2 years, right? 2 years. And then we have what we have today.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, still.
Yeah, no, I'm completely. I mean, I guess on the one hand, the things that the skeleton of Cyberpunk was always good, right? Yeah. And I mean, I played it and enjoyed it on release. Like the story, the writing, the characters, which are the highlight of that game, to me, were always good, and that didn't really change, right? What changed was that they filled in the gaps there, where it was like, okay, well, the RPG mechanics in this game are kind of poorly conceived, right? Stat allocation, skills, all these things are not that interesting to engage with. And then the gameplay itself. What's that?
Transmog.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, or in general, armor, right? Like armor is not much of a thing really anymore, and I think that's for the better. It used to just be you would pick like a random t-shirt on the ground and it happened to be better than the one you had before, and then all of a sudden you're doing that constantly. Now it's like I've basically you have tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, clothes, and that's pretty much it for the whole game, and there's no reason to switch between individual pieces or whatever. But yeah, it's just a lot of little smart changes that made the gameplay better. And to me, that it's hard to see how that would be possible with Starfield. Like it's truly hard to imagine what they could do to make it better, because the skeleton of what's there doesn't feel satisfying. The characters are certainly not there. The writing's certainly not there. The world is fine. Like the grand conceit of things is fine, but yeah, I don't know.
It's a hollow shell.
Yeah.
Bethesda's just a dog shit company now.
Yeah, that sounds right.
It's just true.
Yeah.
And it's gonna suck. They're gonna reveal the Elder Scrolls. It'll come out and maybe like right before I die, and then everyone's still gonna fucking buy it.
The whole cycle repeats. I mean,
yep.
Here's the thing. I think they could, the problem and the reason people are willing to give Bethesda the benefit of the doubt is because it's clear that there's a lot of talent in that studio. There's a lot of passion. It just needs to be allocated in the right areas. It needs to be pushed in the right direction. It's all leadership. So theoretically, like they have the ability to make the game I want again, right? I mean, but then again, is that the game that makes money? I have no idea. Like, I want Oblivion or Morrowind. If they went back and made a brand new Morrowind that was the same mechanics, just modern, would that game sell?
Yeah, I don't know. I think so. Just because it's Bethesda and Morrowind, or whatever. Just because it's them, I think it would, and I would love to live to see the day that I'm proven wrong on that. Similar with Pokemon, like I want them to make better games that I know their fucking wallets allow. Like, they have the actual ability or resources to make better games, but they don't, and they still sell. And I don't know. There's a weird like handful of like game devs in studios and like stuff that kind of fall into that category for me, where it's like y'all could be better, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. I hope we live to see the day they don't sell well and have to wake up and like.
It's kind of the trajectory of all major game studios, right? Like, think about like let's rewind the clock 10 years to when we were a bit younger, like playing games. Who were our favorite studios? Okay, let's see. What? Fucking Blizzard? Okay.
I was a different breed, dude. I was console only. So I had fucking Sucker Punch, I had Insomniac, I had Naughty Dog.
Sure, which I guess depending on who you are, it
depends on like how far back you go, right?
Yeah. Like I guess I'll go. I guess 10 years now isn't that long because that's 2014. Oh god. But like,
Bloodborne.
Let's. I mean, we could go back.
Naughty Dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's say 2010. Right. 2010. The best studios were all completely different than the ones that are the best studios now. Right. But I mean, some anyway. But like, I guess what I mean is like there's always that changing of the guard, because like 2010 it was BioWare. BioWare was far and away my favorite studio. They were riding high on Dragon Age and Mass Effect. Mass Effect 2 had just come out. Like, people were like that was the next great studio, and then they fell off. Maybe Bungie around the same time, right? Like maybe DICE with Battlefield. Like Bad Company 2 was still hot. Like, yeah. All of Blizzard as well, all of those studios, the trajectory has been down, and what happens is another one rises from nowhere, rises from the ashes after years of toiling away in obscurity, like CD Projekt Red.
Capcom also did the same thing.
Sure, yeah. I mean, well, and that's like an example of like a studio coming back to being great.
Yeah,
right?
With good management,
dude.
Yeah, with good management, like you said. Like,
a bunch of people made good decisions. Like, there's talented people at that studio. Management gets it. They know what their players like. They know what people want.
They have the resources.
They have
to
the resources.
Make good stuff. Just gotta, like you said, the management. Yeah. And to circle back a little bit to what I maybe would think my favorite thing from this year has been, it's honestly really hard to say, but I was looking through the like list of earlier stuff, and I can't believe this is the same year we got Wild Hearts and Hogwarts Legacy. I completely forgot about.
That is kind of crazy.
Oh my god!
And then they just straight up were like, yeah, we're not going to be updating Wild Hearts anymore.
Yeah, rest in pieces.
Like,
okay. I mean, it's well documented on this show. Crossley and I fucking loved Wild Hearts. It was silly how much we loved Wild Hearts. Like,
it was so good.
I woke up and went to bed thinking about that game. Like, that game was so fucking cool.
I genuinely really enjoyed it until I didn't.
I've never had something crash and burn so hard. Like,
that's wild, dude. Like, I honestly, I thought it sold well enough for a brand new monster hunting IP.
I would agree.
I think it sold better than they probably expected.
That's what I'm saying. But then still, they just cut it. Even like it was a game that was built as a live service from the start, and they still cut it. And wild. So,
it is crazy. Yeah.
As of April, Koei Tecmo says that Wild Hearts and Wo Long were quote unquote successful, but they neglected to share sales numbers. So that was
And
the
Wild
last.
Hearts is one of those things that I kind of really thought would sort of live on through services like Game Pass. Like, oh, maybe it'll get added to Game Pass and get a whole new resurgence of players, and that'll kind of keep the game. But it never. That just isn't the path it went down. I don't know.
well, Wild
I don't
Hearts
know.
is
I really
getting
wish-
added to Game Pass now, which is really weird.
Yeah, because the online's getting taken off, right?
I think that I'm pretty sure the servers
Oh,
are
it's
going to
just
stay.
updated.
But
It's
they're
just not going to be
Oh.
updated anymore.
They're not going to
but-
touch it
Okay.
anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Well,
I
it'll
mean,
be interesting to see then maybe if it gets like a little cult following and maybe comes back in the future as a better game, a better sequel or something. But yeah, interesting.
Yeah,
That game was great. Was.
In Japan, it was the second best retailing game during its first week of release. It sold 30,000 physical copies. So second best. I wonder what first best was. This article does not say.
From what I remember, it was a pretty good time for release for them. Like a good section of the year.
There wasn't a lot going on in February. I mean, I think it was Hogwarts Legacy around the same time, right?
But that was Hogwarts came out the week before. And then
I don't think
really
those honestly those audiences don't overlap much.
Yeah, I bought both, but that's because I'm stupid.
I did too, because I'm also stupid.
I still haven't played Hogwarts Legacy.
You can do that if you want.
I think
I'm all right.
I think it rides the it rides the IP really hard. Like I think it's probably not a good game without Harry Potter being it, but I think it is very satisfying to get lost in a world you love that has only existed in books or movies. Like it's fun to do that, and you really can't deny it with that game. I had a really good time.
This game comes up far too fucking often for what it is, but it is the anthem of Harry Potter games for sure. It's like go to a place. It's like here's some story, now go to this place and do a single player RPG. Actually, you know what I mean? It's kind of Anthem, but it's actually more what was that? Kingdoms of Amalur or whatever, like rough around the edges, but like the gameplay is relatively satisfying. There's like kind of there's a core loop that works, but they make you do it like repeatedly over 100 hours or something. Like it's kind of like that. Yeah, strange game. Dragon Age Inquisition without any of the good characters.
Well, the biggest thing that sucked about Hogwarts, honestly, was the writing. So it's like Dragon Age Inquisition without the good writing. If the writing and conversations in Hogwarts would have been literally any better than they were, it would have been so much more fun. But
I can agree. No context for what you're doing, really.
Yeah.
Anyway, you never answered the question, Crossley.
I genuinely can't pick something. I'm gonna have to really review my games of the year for this next month.
Yeah,
I'm hella biased, but I'm pretty sure like RE4 is gonna be second pick for me.
Not Liza. Oh wait, second pick?
Yeah, for sure.
First is Baldur's Gate. He said.
Okay.
I mean, I honestly, until you said that, I wasn't even thinking about Resident Evil. I still haven't played the DLC.
Yeah, it's supposed to be really good too. It's supposed to be more content than the original Ada Wong DLC.
I heard that.
It wasn't even like, if you want to call it that, it wasn't even DLC in the PS2 version.
No.
So
yeah. Okay. Interesting. Okay, well, let's get into it, because there's a lot of games out right now, and I feel like they're all good, with one exception. And I think if anyone that knows me will know what that is, but
Red Dead Redemption on the Switch.
Oh, fuck that fucking shit, dude! Did you
did it to yourself? You did it to yourself.
I know. So, did you see Merced that they patched the port of Red Dead Redemption 1 on PS5 to run at 60 FPS? It is now it's now the only version of Red Dead Redemption 1 that runs at 60 FPS.
All right, that's good, right?
Okay, except I own it.
Got it on the Switch like a fucking idiot.
Well, I own it. I already owned it on Xbox, right? Because I've owned it on Xbox since the 360. So I have that. Right. So you can backwards compatible play it on the Xbox Series X, except that's not 60 FPS because they didn't patch that because the port on Sony was done by a different developer. It wasn't done by Rockstar. So Rockstar would have to do the Xbox version. So they're like, we're not going to do that. We don't fucking give a shit. So that pisses me off. But then I bought the Switch version so I could play it on my trips. And that version didn't get patched because it probably can't run fucking 60 FPS. Although it should be able to. That game's from fucking 2010, 11? Come on.
It's a Switch, bro.
I think the tech required to run Red Dead 1 well is definitely a tier above the Switch.
Come on, dude. I mean,
it's a Switch.
Dude,
I wouldn't even expect it to run Red Dead Redemption 1. I'm not even gonna lie to you. So I completely
the Switch supposedly here's what Digital Foundry says. Supposedly the Switch is roughly the power of a base PS4. Because if you think about
honestly, if I really think about it, there's some really fucking gorgeous games that exist on
Switch. And fucking it came out in 2018. I mean, that was 10 years after this game. Theoretically, the
Switch
came
out in 2015 or 16, right?
17, maybe 17. Okay,
I was thinking 16, but I'm not 100% on that
because it was the same year as Breath of the Wild, which I feel like March 3rd, 2017.
Okay, 2017. Okay.
So about, I don't know. I can't now. I don't even know when Red Dead Redemption came out.
I don't either.
This is what being old is. Old is just this.
2009, 2010.
Okay, 2010. Together. Okay, 2010. So 8 years. I mean, I feel like a base PS4 should be able to run Red Dead Redemption at 60 FPS.
Could it? Actually, that's a good question. Yeah,
it doesn't. The PS5 does. So
that's a good question.
Dude, that's just because fucking Rockstar...
And it's a PS4 version. It's not even a PS5 release. It is a PS4 port that runs at 60.
Yeah, that's true.
On PS5 specifically. So you're eating your own tail here, sir.
Except that literally could just be code nonsense. You know what I mean? Like spaghetti nonsense. Like they didn't optimize it at the time. Until they did this, everyone, including Digital Foundry, was pretty sure that it was like Dark Souls 1,
right?
Where it needed to be it needed to be completely reworked in order to run at 60 FPS. It wasn't just toggling something,
right?
I feel
that's what I was assuming too.
I think that
the amount of work to do that is probably just annoying. I'm surprised it got done for the PS5. Honestly,
it must have been maybe an emulation thing or something. I have no idea, but it is really strange and it fucking pisses me off. And I can't believe you got me down this road two episodes in a row, Crossley. Goddamn.
Oh, get you again, brother.
Anyway, let's talk about Super Mario Wonder.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't played that.
Yeah, I can talk briefly.
Okay.
One, it's great. It just really is great. It's a great 2D Mario game. I'm very, very impressed with it. They dropped the ball with the online again. Big surprise.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it is kind of cool, but basically what it should have been is just couch co-op, but online. What it actually is instead of being able to play the game with your friends online, y'all can play your own solo instance parallel to each other, and y'all can see like a transparent version of your friend playing the level alongside you. And the only thing you can do is if they die, you can touch their ghost and bring them back if you touch them within a few seconds. So that's kind of cool.
So if they jump on a Goomba that is right in front of you, it doesn't happen in your world?
No, I'll see them do it, but it won't happen to my Goomba.
That is terrible.
It's so stupid. But
that sounds actually retarded.
Yeah, it's really dumb. It's really dumb.
The only thing I can think of that would be cool is like the discovery aspect, like someone hits an invisible block and you're just like, oh shit, that guy just. But that like that's about it.
That is cool. Like me and Jerry were playing it, and he would be like, I'm like going on the ground hitting my Goombas, right? And he's like up in the air on something that is not there in my world doing something. And I'm like, how the fuck is he even up there? So it is cool, but it just should have been couch co-op, but online where y'all are actually just playing the stage together. But oh well, it's whatever. The game itself is great. It's one of the prettiest games I've ever seen on the Switch. I'm like, I don't know. I literally can't believe how good it looks sometimes. They just fucking nail style so hard with
Is it prettier than Red Dead?
I don't know. I'll have to buy it on the Switch and boot it up.
Hate you guys.
But it is extremely just stylized and gorgeous, and the way they fucking like use color is just really impressive. For just, I guess that alone is just really cool. But they do this interesting like particle effect where like, I don't know how to explain it. I'm sure it's in trailers and stuff, but basically anytime a huge shift is going to happen to like anything in the environment or whatever, they just like turn it all into particles and then it shifts into the new thing from the particles, and it just looks so fucking good.
Yeah, it is cool.
They've just nailed it.
I like all the weird like shimmery, like when you change planes of reality, the game like kind of delaminates almost.
Yeah.
It looks really weird.
Yeah. It's really cool, and it's just pure fun. Like they nailed the flow and momentum that I think can be kind of hard to get right in Mario or Sonic games, where it's just like, if you lose your momentum, it feels bad for the player.
Yeah.
And they've completely designed this in a way where it's just like, there's like a sort of constant motion to it that feels really good. And it's good. It's good.
Counterpoint. I fell asleep. Literally. Yeah. Actually. I was playing it and I actually nodded off.
Yeah.
In the
I
games,
do that with a lot of games, even ones I like.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. In the game's defense, I was tired, and I am old.
Yeah.
But I haven't gone back to it since then. I was like, okay. I did the bull riding mission. I was like, that's pretty neat. I think I did like the first probably 8 or 10 levels, and I was like, that was neat. And then I haven't played anymore. So.
Yeah, and are you like big on platformers really, or are you just kind of checking it out for the science?
I was always a 3D platformer guy, with like the exception of like Metroidvania kind of games, like Metroid and Castlevania, and Hollow Knight and things like that. But overall, I've never been a 2D Mario person.
Okay.
I mean, and when I was a kid, I played them. You know what I mean? Like Super Mario World is a game I've beaten a million times, and I like Yoshi's Island a lot. But there's something about me and 2D Mario games, like I just haven't gelled with one in a really long time. I don't know. Like even like the pseudo 3D, like 3D Mario World or whatever. What was that one called? On the Wii U,
Super Mario 3D World or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like even that was like, I was like, okay, this is a little bit boring.
Yeah, I didn't like that one.
But okay, well, I'm glad you're liking it. It's people are like, I read the reviews and people were like cumming their pants about this game. Yeah. So I was
genuinely a good time.
Like Mario fans be eating good, I guess. Even without Charles Martinet, they got a different guy to voice him.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Sounds like just like him.
Yeah. No shocker there. I feel like it's like really easy to do Mario sounds.
Yeah, I guess
they probably could have just pulled like stock clips of him that they have in like a fucking vault or something and just used his voice for the rest of the time.
Well, I hope I assume his contract doesn't allow that, which is why they had to go get somebody else. But
sure.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting how similar they sound. I mean, I like Charles Martinet. Seems like a nice enough guy, I guess. But yeah,
he's great.
Pretty,
I don't know if I've ever told that story where I met him, but he is genuinely a really nice guy.
Oh,
I was at a convention when I lived in Orlando, and me and my buddy were like passing the area where it's like you meet up with people, like the lines to like do meetups or like get things signed. And it was towards the end of that day, and nobody was there at this aisle, and like none of the people you can like meet and greet, they're all gone, and the only one still there is Charles Martinet. And he had like a line of 5 people or whatever, and I'm like, dude, I think that's Mario's voice actor, and he's like, no way, and I'm like, wait, no, it totally is, that's the dude. And so we wait in line or whatever, because it's only a few people, and it was me waiting in line, and my buddy was doing something else, and we get to the, like, it's my turn, and I was like, where is everybody else? And he was like, oh, I just like to hang back and make sure everybody that wants to get a chance and say hey and say something gets a chance, you know. He's just being super nice and all that. And then my buddy that didn't wait in line ended up wanting a picture, but he didn't wait in line. And the guy, the like official that like worked at the convention, was like, I don't know, basically saying we couldn't do that, like that my friend couldn't come join us in the picture and stuff like that. And then Charles was like, no, dude, get over here. Like, you know, it's all good. And you're supposed to pay for this too. It's not like just like a free thing, you know. You're supposed to pay. So I paid for a picture with me, one picture. And it was like $5, whatever. And so he's like, no, come on, get over here. And then, you know, let him come join in the picture. And then we took like a fuck ton of pictures and like hung out with him.
That's awesome.
It was just like, yeah, we have like all these pictures of us doing like Mario jumps and all this other stuff. And I was like,
cool.
Yeah, he was just a genuine dude. He's awesome.
What a heartwarming story. I feel I got like a little emotional from that. That's very nice.
Augers, dude.
What a nice guy. I you know, all too often you just assume everybody sucks. So that's really nice, especially if they're relatively famous.
Yeah. No, he's just a good dude.
That's cool. What do you think his dark secret is?
Something, dude.
No. Let's move on.
Something Peach Rule 34. I don't know.
Yeah. He is actually, you know, every time you search Rule 34, any Mario thing, he is the artist. It's all him. No. He's the only guy doing it.
Jesus.
Okay. Merced, Alan Wake.
Oh yeah. Did you want me to just say like what's wrong? Because it's easier to just say like what I think is kind of wrong with it rather than like the things that I fucking love.
Yeah, approach it however you want. I mean, right. tell me what you've been playing. I don't know how far in you are, but
so I just got out of the subway station.
Okay, I had a lot of problems with that section. Yeah.
So I think that's where like some of the cracks like started beginning to show for the game. Mm-hmm. The combat is one of them. Just like certain aspects of the combat where it's like you're wearing headphones whenever you're playing, right? You're playing on PC?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
So like the audio direction is a little bit difficult, and in some of the more like hectic scenes, it is damn near impossible to figure out like where the like entities are, how close they are, how many of them there are. And like whenever they hit you, which they fucking will, they will take like almost half your health. And like I just didn't find like the dodging is like a little bit fucking clunky. Once you get used to it, it's a lot better. That's for sure.
Sure.
I will say that. But I feel like the combat could have just been a lot better. And even just having the camera a little bit further away from Alan Wake would have just been so much better in terms of clarity, because getting hit when the person is like right out of your peripheral, like right next to you, just doesn't feel good.
It's maddening. Yeah.
And then and this is all to say like I'm enjoying the shit out of my time with this game. A lot of people were incredibly concerned with the performance aspects of the game. It runs perfectly fine. I have a 3060 Ti. It runs fucking great. So like there's really nothing wrong with it on that end. As long as you're not like trying to make your fucking computer into a sports car, then you'll be fine.
Like, I am.
Yeah, I mean you have the ability to, right? I tried, it did not fucking work. So I played the game at like 20 FPS for like an hour, and I was like, I can't do this. So I just turned a couple of the settings down, and surprisingly enough, it shot up to like 80 frames a second.
Yeah, steady. if you're not too invested in heavy ray tracing, path tracing, things like that, it'll run really well. Yeah, I mean, people got really nervous about that chart. That chart like a few days before release. I've never seen a shitstorm boil up in real time, but I saw the chart like first thing in the morning when they posted it, and in my head I was like, man, this seems like a little aggressive, but I guess we don't really know what the game looks like. And then like by the end of that same day, people were like foaming at the mouth, being like, I bought a graphics card 9 years ago and you're telling me it's not supported anymore.
Dude, people are fucking crazy. I do not understand like this intense want and need for my 1080 Ti to work on modern games. It's not fucking realistic. People need to let go, grandpa, and go get a fucking new graphics card. It's about that time. That's like whenever Starfield, whenever Todd Howard was like, it might be time for y'all to like, you know, upgrade your PCs a little, and everyone was like, what are you fucking talking about?
Yeah.
And like it's like, okay, but some of y'all really need to listen to this guy. Like, was it a shitty way to convey that? Yeah, probably. But yeah, and also I think a lot of the concerns for the way that Alan Wake would run is we got like the specs for like what they recommended and everything, and then they had in-game trailers, and when I saw those, I was like, oh no, because it looked fucking gorgeous, and I was like, I'm not gonna be able to. There's no way I'm not gonna be able to run this. But then of course, like once I tried, and you don't lose much visual clarity, to be completely honest. It's like you said, as long as you're like okay with losing a bit of the ray tracing, things like that, and you're good to go. You'll be fine.
Totally.
3060 Ti is, I would say, on the lower end of where you should be, period, if you have a modern gaming PC. So
and like as we all know, I think Digital Foundry has 2 videos out now as of this recording. They did one on basically this exact topic, which is to say that like, hey guys, we all know that the PlayStation 5 isn't made of magic. So how is that console running this game when everybody's so concerned that their PCs won't be able to? Most of those PCs, like a 3060 Ti, more compute power than a PlayStation 5, right? Like easily. So, okay, what's happening here, right? Like what's the disconnect? Because there's a 60 FPS mode on PS5. So they did like a deep dive on basically like figuring out, you know, what that chart was about, what each setting is. And the reality is, this game is a leap forward in the sense that even on like low graphics settings, it looks fucking amazing. Like
for sure, 100%.
It looks better than a lot of games do on max settings.
Yeah, like, when I was finagling with it, I played with it for a bit on low settings, and I was still astonished.
Yeah,
like I have it on like most settings on high, some on medium. All the bells and whistles turned off, of course. But even on low, completely correct. It still looks really fucking good.
Yeah. So they did that video, and then this morning, about I'd say probably 40 minutes or so before we got on here, I was watching a little bit of it right before. They did a video where they go scene by scene and they show what ray tracing and path tracing does. Not to be like, hey, you need this stuff to make this a good game, but just to say, this is why this game is so heavy. Like, this is why they're trying, like a lot of, like, I mean, Spider-Man as well. They're like more recent games that are not cross-generation, that aren't like on PS4 and on Xbox One, that are just new generation, are really trying to push things forward. And here's how they're doing it. And like the path tracing stuff, like it's not something that everybody needs right now, but it shows you, okay, this is where games are headed. This is truly important. Like there's some things, like the way lighting works in that game, side by side, looking at the ray traced, path traced version versus no ray tracing, you understand now, okay, like if we've complained for a long time about how graphics fidelity has stagnated in the last 10 years, this is the real difference. Lighting it's starting to seem like lighting is the real difference. Like once we get natural, like computed, like real-time computed lighting, like it looks insane. So I'm excited. I remember the first game that sold me on this idea was Metro Exodus. The ray tracing in that game was insane.
Wake 2 on.
I think Remedy has
Remedy's
an internal
proprietary.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. What have we seen on Unreal 5 or nothing yet? I feel like there's something big that's come out on 5, right?
So the main things and the number of Unreal Engine 5 games. Let's see. I'm gonna double check. Yeah, so it's a Northlight engine. So it's Remedy's internal engine. But what's happening is they're using some of the kind of techniques that were, and this game is published by Epic, right? So
no, I guess I didn't.
Yeah,
it's an App Store exclusive.
It's an Epic exclusive, and it was published entirely by them. So,
and I believe the developers also made a statement saying that the game would essentially not be possible without like Epic's like style of publishing and everything. Apparently, they did like a phenomenal job.
yeah, it seemed it's really impressive actually how focused it feels, right? Like it feels like exactly the thing they wanted to make.
Which 100%, yes.
Which with a game of this level of polish and scope is like very impressive. Like artistically, everything feels like exactly what they wanted to do. Which Alan Wake 1 felt that way as well, I guess, at the time. But like, I remember Alan Wake 1 coming out and looking good, but it didn't seem like the new step. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like for sure.
There were more cinematic games back then. This game, I mean, like this is like MGS4 in terms of like, I cannot believe how cinematic this game is. Like, I cannot believe how good it looks, how well crafted it is, how well written it is. Like the overall set design, like the way they've chosen to integrate like some of the non-playable sections or the story sections with the gameplay in like new and weird ways. Even just regular cutscenes still have something weird about them that is like, this isn't normally how games do this. You know what I mean? Like it all feels, it's kind of Death Stranding-ish actually in my head. Spoken as somebody who did not play much Death Stranding, but it reminds me of that.
Great game.
But yeah, I agree with a lot of what you said, although I'm playing it on normal. I have not died yet, but I'm constantly frustrated when I feel like I get hit and I couldn't have done anything.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is definitely a gamer brain thing to feel like you play too many video games and your mind gets poisoned against taking damage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially in survival horror games where you're like, I need every bit of health. Like that's bullshit.
Yeah.
I think Dark Souls has done this to us, actually.
I had very much like a gamer moment where I allowed myself to die because I did not want to use any of my health stuff at all. So I have like 20 fucking bandages and like 50 painkillers, and I'm just like, no, I could do this section without using any of this health stuff because what if there's a section later on where I'm actually gonna need all this shit? Yeah. So
what happens when you die? Moments. What does it look like?
It's actually pretty cool. So it goes like, you know, those little weird flashes that you get.
Yeah.
Of
those things scare me every time.
Yeah. So that happens, and then you get a picture of Alan Wake like bleeding out on the floor, and he's just like staring off into the ceiling, and then you just warp back.
Oh, cool.
It looks pretty cool. But yeah, definitely, I had those moments multiple times in the subway system. Oh, dude, the traversal mechanics in this game. Like, is there another game that has done something like this before? Because I felt like there might have been, but I couldn't quite put my finger on it. But the way you traverse the environments...
Oh, the blinking between...
using the lights and then also using your storyboard to, like, write in different, like, narratives so that the world changes around you and you can keep moving forward.
Yeah.
And also to get extra collectibles, to get extra items and all those kinds of things, you have to go out of your way in order and use all the storyboard stuff so you can get to certain locations and all that kind of stuff.
Every time you go to a new area. So I don't Crossley, we don't want to give away like a bunch of stuff, but there's there's interesting moments where like you have two playable characters. One of them is Alan, and in the story of the game, in the first one, you know, Alan is writing the story and it's changing the world. But in the first one, he was finding the pages that were pre-written and they were kind of predicting what would happen, right? Okay. And you were finding them sort of out of order. So if you were finding them in the first game, it would kind of tip you off to something that was going to happen way later. But it was more of an unspoken thing. Like they were almost just collectibles as much as they were a story element. In this, they're both. They're making them extremely relevant to what happens. And also they flesh out the inner thoughts of different characters. They give you backstory on some characters that maybe you're not going to see in the game, but also they will literally predict what's going to happen to you as the first playable character that you start off with, which is Saga Anderson, who's an FBI agent. So when you play Alan later, which isn't really a spoiler, they made that clear from the marketing stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
When you start playing Alan, you realize that there are moments where you'll have to rewrite the story in order to progress. So like it's a puzzle. It'll be like, okay, what story elements do I need to plug together that Alan will rewrite this so I can continue on, right? But if you think about it in like a broad sense, you can also just start plugging in random elements and go down different paths, different side paths to get like upgrades for weapons or things like that. You know what I mean? Or additional resources or whatever, or collectibles. This game's fucking full of collectibles.
Yeah.
Like there's a shitload of them. And almost all of them are story relevant, which is interesting.
I like it. Yeah.
It's cool. Yeah. There's side quests in this game, kind of. I mean, there's no like quest indicator or anything like that, but you'll just stumble on random shit and it'll be like a side thing you can do, and they're all weird. Okay. Story's good. I don't want to get into it too much just because I think I don't want to just say a bunch of shit that will be wrong later, and also I feel like Crossley should play a bit of it before we just start giving things away. But
yeah, I feel
I'm a bit further than you. Things are starting to come together in a way that makes me really excited. Like I was a little bit concerned early on because I was like, all right, this is all a little bit too silly for me right now. But the way they're bringing things together, and the way, okay. You know how you'll meet like the dialogue at the beginning of the game, right? Like Alex Casey or anyone, even Saga, you're like, this is all really bad. Like I was like, this dialogue, and I was like, okay, Max Payne is also kind of bad, but in a more literary way. Like it's more interesting.
Alex Casey's supposed to be that way, right? Like that's like clear.
But
like Alex Casey is supposed to be right, Max Payne, just in a different outfit.
In a different world. But like,
yeah.
You start, I don't know, maybe you haven't thought about this the way that I have, but maybe not. But like, I was like, I think the whole game is written poorly on purpose. I think that. I'm like going in that direction. Like, I'm like, okay, Saga is very clearly some kind of character in the story. The big question is how many of these people exist outside of Alan Wake's mind and how many exist only because of Alan Wake's mind, right? And so every time I meet someone now,
I see what you're saying.
If they're written weirdly, like, or kind of bad, I'm like, this guy's fake. You know what I mean?
Are you trying to say it's like because he's a shitty writer? Like,
yes, I am. I think it's a plot element that he's a shitty
he's
writer.
He's a bad writer, but and he's a successful writer.
He is successful, but so is fucking like Dan Brown. You know what I mean? I mean, it's
I feel you. Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's tons of successful writers that are bad, and I mean, let's be honest. He's written like 1 million books. Fucking so is Stephen King, and what percentage of those are good? I mean, and he's a great writer, right? So it's like, I think like he's a bad writer, and that's part of the story. I'm not sure yet.
I honestly, you could be right, because there is literally, what is it? There's actually there's a term for this, like in literature, but the way that Saga tends to figure things out feels very cheap.
People call it a Mary Sue. Yeah. Yeah.
So like, and this isn't really a spoiler, but they're basically like, Saga needs to figure something out because she's a detective. She has to figure something out in order for the plot to develop forward. So like almost forcing the narrative forward, one of her basically like high level detective abilities is that she can just like, she just knows what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
Like she can read people's minds almost.
Yeah.
Where they'll tell her something and then she'll be like, there's an apple in your pocket right now. Give it to me. And they'll be like, how the fuck did you know that?
Yeah.
And then they'll just, it's like,
it's what people... It's what people complained about with like the BBC Sherlock show, where he was just like making these insane deductions based on almost nothing.
Yes, it's that same thing.
Except even less. Like she has even less to go on. Like she'll make a deduction that is only possible to know if the writer is feeding you information. Do you know what I mean? Like it's very interesting.
Yeah.
So
and that all flows like very well into each other. Assume like, you know, if you're like if you're correct, that would completely entirely make
so like
sense.
It's a gamble for them, because honestly the start of this game I was like, this game is fun and I love the visuals. I love the way things are, but the writing is really bad. I was
agree.
like, the writing sucks. And then I'm getting into it more and I'm like, there are parts of this where the writing is insanely good. So now I'm starting to piece together that there's like differences in between the way things are handled. Like Alan Wake overall, like his internal thoughts, because he's not the one writing them, are good. Because Remedy, Sam Lake, whoever at Remedy wrote them.
Like the parts where he's in the subway station.
Yes.
It's just him. And it's all done really fucking well.
And then anything Alan Wake writes, which is all of the saga stuff.
Yeah, you get to like see the echoes too.
Yeah,
and then it's almost like this weird, like the comparison. You're just like, shit, like it's like Whiplash.
Exactly.
Yeah, I definitely see where you're coming from.
It's really interesting. So I'm actually liking the game more and more the deeper I get into it, because things start connecting in ways that you're like, it is very Kojima-esque in how the gameplay and the narrative are in service of each other in ways that you maybe don't expect. It's pretty interesting. I'm excited. I really like it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm heavily enjoying it. Like I said, I just got done with the subway station. So
it's the opposite of Resident Evil 4 in the sense that like whenever you have to fight. Okay, actually, let me back up for a second. Do you think this game is scary?
In some sections, but most of the time, no. I would say.
I am.
When it gets intense, it is.
It's very intense. I'm constantly on edge. I didn't really find it scary except for Nightingale's fight. I was like hyperventilating.
That shit was good.
I was hyperventilating. It was really good, but I was like, I was like zeroed in. I was like, I got my aimbot on. Like I wasn't letting him get me. You know what I mean?
They did a great. I don't know if they did this on purpose, but they did a phenomenal job of
with the audio.
In, like almost like the audio is fucking great. Almost like all the audio in that
all
game
the audio is actually
really well.
It's insane.
But they pieced in like little tutorial sections in the middle of the Nightingale fight. So like the whole time it's almost like you're fumbling and you're like, what the fuck? And you're like trying to figure this out. Like,
you're right.
Which definitely helped in terms of like, just that feeling of like intensity.
You're playing on mouse and keyboard,
right? Controller.
Oh, dude, I was watching Nextlander play that part. They died like 7 times. And I was like, it's because of the aiming. Like I thought controller aiming looked terrible. It seemed really bad. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm playing it. I'll say I'm playing it on a controller now. But in that section, I was on mouse and keyboard. But in general, I didn't feel that much of a difference switching to controller.
Dude, fuck. I feel like mouse aim helps me out so often in this game, like in terms of accuracy. But maybe the auto aim is really generous or something. I don't know.
It feels generous. I'm like getting headshots. It's not really that hard. And to be completely honest, I'm pretty patient in the way that I approach the game. Same. So like I'm totally okay with just standing there and then just like pointing a flashlight and just being like, I'll just wait until you disappear. So I mean, like,
so that ties into what I wanted to say. Okay, so the whole Alan Wake section, I was terrified. I can't explain it. I haven't been that scared playing a game in a really long time. Like the constant whispering, I think I might have like an audio thing because I think I'm afraid of sounds because I haven't been this scared since Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. If you guys did either of you play that game?
No.
Okay. No. You know what I'm talking about though. That weird it was like story like Norwegian whatever. Okay, so the way that game works, and they tell you when you boot up the game, they're like, yo, you should play this with headphones on. The way that game works is that there's constantly voices in Senua's head whispering in her ear. And things change based on where the voices are, and like they can almost kind of direct you to the enemies and stuff in a way. And it's just constantly happening. And it made me like on edge, like that whole game. It was really intense. In the Alan Wake sections, there's constantly people talking to you. Yeah. Like the shadows are always talking to you.
I completely agree. I'm always like, I'm not like scared, but I'm always on edge and creep the fuck out.
I was sweating bullets. And like the way the shadows move, I couldn't explain it. It just freaked me out. Like how they zoom up to you really quickly all of a sudden out of nowhere.
Like unsettling.
It helps a lot too because like the way the mechanic works in the game is you can flash the light on them and if you're patient enough they will disappear.
Yeah.
But sometimes they won't and you have no idea if they're going to disappear or not and then they'll just jostle up to you like it's
like instantly. Like,
and you have like half a second to react to dodge them and shit. So and it works really well.
I started experimenting a little bit because there's a skill you can get as Alan Wake that basically is a stealth meter. Did you notice that? Where it's like shadows are 20% likely less to detect.
Yeah, I dumped the words in there. Yeah.
So I realized that only works if, I mean, it works at some distances, but if you're anywhere close to them, it only works if your flashlight is off.
Oh shit! I was wondering how it worked.
So I was like tiptoeing past these guys, and the whispering in my head was just like totally destroying me. I mean,
they'll be there, and since they're constantly talking too, it's like the volume of their voice and everything. You're trying to listen to like, can they see me? Are they coming after me or not? So like you'll hear like Alan, and then like out of nowhere they'll just be like Alan, and like they'll be
right
like
next to
there
you.
next to you. Yeah,
it's
crazy, dude.
Every time, dude. Every time. Like, and it's funny because like you'll know that there's an enemy nearby because you'll just be like picking through some documents or something. All of a sudden you'll just hear Alan, and you're like.
Yeah.
The fuck?
No, it's a very intense game. For sure. It is
Don't like it. It made me very uncomfortable. I was like, I'm not into this. And the way the parts where you have to run as well, didn't like that. Didn't care for that.
Oh, from the
presents?
Yeah, the presents. I thought that was cool as shit.
I mean, it's cool, so but cool. I was like, ooh, like,
and like Alan's like looking behind him the whole time while he's like running. Yeah, it's really cool. Ugh. They did a great job with those sections. One thing I didn't expect them to do is give you freedom on, because I just got past the subway section where the game opens up a bit more, and they give you freedom on who you want to play as. So you can play as Saga, you can play as Alan. I'm assuming you have to play as both, but you can play as either one, either storyline, at your leisure.
Yeah.
So, and I thought that was pretty cool.
They give you the chance to switch back and forth. I haven't done it yet. I was like, well, I just played as Alan for a bunch of hours, so now I'm going to play as Saga. But
that's essentially what I'm choosing to do. Yeah, that's an interesting theory that you have, though. That one weird thing is that she knows what Alan is thinking too.
Yes.
So, like,
how does that work? Because she was created by Alan. But
yeah, so I guess like then in that case he would have to write in that she knows, like, because she specifically asks.
Yeah, that's true.
She's like, hey, like, I know that there are missing papers that you're not sharing with
that you're holding.
Like, and then he's just like, you got me. And
but also, I mean, in Alan Wake 1, he didn't even remember writing them. Same here. Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of things that are still weird that we could figure out. But you guys both played Control, right?
I played Control, yeah.
I played like a third of it. I unfortunately didn't finish it, but I really, really want
to. Me either. So
I thought it was great.
I'm a little confused. I didn't like it, to be honest, but I'm a little confused about some things. That
you'll probably remain confused. I probably don't have the answers for you. So
it's a shame because I played all of the Alan Wake 1 and all the DLC, and I knew that there would be a little bit of Control in here, but it turns out there's actually a lot of Control in here.
There's a good bit, yeah.
Like a shitload of Control in this game. Probably only going to be more as things go.
I mean, you met Ati already.
Yes, which of course he's in the beginning of Control, so I knew who that was.
So you do know who he is. You know the what is it, the CFB or fuck what?
The Federal Bureau of Control, the FBC.
FBC, yeah. You meet them when they're messing with the thing.
Here's something I definitely remember. The lodge that you go to with the different doors in Control is the lodge that Saga's staying at.
Really?
It for sure is. The same song is playing on the radio, I noticed.
Because it like leads you in there too if you go down the hallway, and then all of a sudden all the doors, you can open up like all the doors and stuff, and
except
go
for
a
couple.
It's
the exact same layout, same design. It's obviously a lot brighter right now, but
well, if I'm remembering correctly too, the typewriter is literally one of the like artifacts
it is
in control. Which, so like that stuff is like kind of like already explained, like it's not really like Alan, it's like the typewriter is like the main crux of like why everything is fucking happening.
There's also a little bit of Quantum Break in here, although I can't tell if that's
I feel like that
references
it has to be a reference, because I can't remember what I was watching or something, but they were talking about how Quantum Break is actually not related to the games, and it's just another thing by Remedy, which I didn't know, actually. I thought it was a tie-in, but apparently it's not.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, because the guy from Quantum Break is here.
That's like, fucking funny.
Yeah, like the main dude. He shows up. He's playing the same guy. Yeah, the sheriff. It's him.
Oh, whoa, that's fucking wild.
Yeah.
Oh, did you read his board too?
I did, yeah. Yeah, he's looking for he's looking for
the red-haired chick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Which is funny because there's also a red-haired chick in Quantum Break. So.
Oh, is there? Fuck. Yeah. I didn't play it. So I assume the red-haired chick was the chick from Control.
Well, I think so as well. Yeah, but also I'm pretty sure the red-haired chick from Control and the I think that same actress was in Quantum Break as a character.
Oh. Okay.
And then is in Control as Jesse Faden. So
the layers.
Yeah. They're it's so funny, and it's the same thing with like Alex Casey and Max Payne being the same, obviously Sam Lake as the character model and the same voice actor. Like they're really playing off of those things, because Alex Casey is literally Max Payne. And they voice him and play him out like Max Payne, except it's so funny because when he's written by Alan Wake, he is so much less cool than when he's written by Remedy.
He's like horrible. It's so fucking funny.
The way he talks, he's like in Max Payne, he's like really good at constructing these very elaborate sentences and metaphors in his head, right? And in this, he's like, it'll be like the most pedestrian version of all of that shit. I can't
the echoes are like really, really funny.
Yeah,
honestly. It's just like he writes everything in the most like he writes Casey in the most like extreme version of like a noir like style. Yeah. Like,
and there's a bunch of live action in this game, kind of like in Control, like how there was a shitload of live action stuff.
There's a lot
on the TV. There's a bunch of live action. There's an entire sequence where Alan Wake is like transitioning between real life and the game, like live action and rendered stuff, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? The whole Mr. Door talk show thing is pretty interesting.
Also, whenever he goes into that apartment, with the projector, the projector's all
his wife. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm interested. I'm a little bit bummed that I didn't like Control and didn't feel like seeing it through, because I think the story and the visuals of Control are really cool. I just didn't like playing it that much. I
thought it was a great game.
Yeah, I think it's incredible.
It's just I don't know if I'm assuming it's by design. But the game is just fucking hella confusing. But I mean, so is Alan Wake 2. Alan Wake 2 is also very confusing. And I believe like all of it is just by design. It is nice though that like if you are one of those people who while you're playing the game you're like, shit, this is like actually like really fucking confusing and I don't understand like all this like random shit that's going on, you can go out of your way and start to piece it together yourself a little bit. And they'll give you information. Of course, it's not gonna solve it for you, but it will make you feel more secure and like moving forward that you're actually understanding a bit of the story. Yeah,
just take a step back and start thinking about things, and you can kind of come to it. The game also is pretty good about. I mean, it's confusing now. I do get the feeling that if you pay attention, you think about it a little bit, and you keep going, things will. I don't think it's going to end like Alan Wake 1 ended, and you were still really confused.
Yes.
I feel like this game is going to wrap up some things. Like it seems like they're barreling towards some kind of conclusion.
I'm hoping so, because it's like Control did the same thing. By the end, literally it's like you could go on forums and you could read for like hours about like people just being incredibly fucking confused about the ending. I still couldn't tell you what the hell happened at the end of Control. So
I don't actually know.
It's just one of those things. I'm hoping that there's like a lot, they clarify a lot of the more paranormal aspects, or give a structure to the paranormal.
Yeah,
more at least. Or I mean, hell, if they really only want to focus on like the dark presence, then I mean that's cool too. So
yeah, I guess something I had to read about that I didn't know was that the villain in Alan Wake 1, not the villain, like the presence, I guess, is the villain, but like the psychiatrist guy was in control.
Was he?
He was in the Alan Wake expansion, I guess. The AWE, was it what they call it, the alternate world experience or whatever.
I must have missed that or didn't play it.
Yeah, that DLC. I guess like you fight like a big boss in that, and they directly say that it's the guy from Alan Wake 1 who jumped into the lake and had like the dark presence in him, and then it got combined with the hiss because he got captured by the FBC. So when he was in when he was in control, like in the I forget what they call the building, the oldest house or something. Whenever he was in there, he got the hiss in him, and the combination of the dark presence and the hiss created like an abomination or something. I was like, okay, that's fucking weird. So maybe the hiss will show up at some point. I don't know.
Oh, that would be fucking wild.
Yeah.
So he would have to be like equipped with something else entirely different though, right?
That's true. Yeah.
To kill the hiss is like you need like that weird fucking paranormal gun.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And you also have to be the what's it called? The executive or something? Whatever.
Yeah. Whatever Trench was and then Faden became, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Good game.
Yeah.
Crossley, anything else you've been playing?
Yeah. I'll circle back to this, but I have been playing Spider-Man 2.
Okay. Did you play that, Merced?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
I've not played it.
I feel like we should talk about the finals a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead. I haven't touched it.
I really want you to touch it, Chandler. I'm not going to lie. I thought about hitting you up earlier this morning to see if you wanted to hop in a little bit, and I could kind of get your...
I'll touch it. I'll touch it for you, Crossley.
God, yes. Thank you. But I think this is the most fun I've had in a competitive thing in a long time. And I know Merced can attest to this because we played it so much, but I don't think I've been this competitive in a very long time. Like, it gets my fucking competitive energies flowing, and it probably sounds like I'm like really mad, but really I'm just very competitive and getting super into it. But this fucking game unlocked something in me that hasn't been unlocked in a while. But it's just fucking a very fun, I don't know, little first person shooter. I forget who exactly it was made by, but I think Merced, you were saying it's like the team that did like...
It's the devs that were specifically on Bad Company 2 during the time of DICE. So they left around, what was it? Battlefield 5, I think, was when a lot of them had their exodus because they were tired of making Battlefield games, not really anything to do with the company. So then they made this company,
Embark.
This is Embark, and this is their first foray into their own personal FPS project.
Is this going to be free to play, or is this going to be a buy it with money?
It's free to play.
Yeah, I think it'll be free to play.
It's free to play, and then you'll have the microtransactions are going to be its main form of monetization. Okay. So, but yeah, and honestly, the soul of the game very much resembles that of an older Battlefield game. The chaos, the destructibility, highly intense moments, constantly thinking on your feet based off of like what's going on around you.
Sure.
Things like that chaos, like the DNA is there. Maybe if you look at it for a moment, you won't see it, but when you're playing it, you feel it, like very much so. And the way that the guns control, I think that they specifically wanted the time to kill to be as high as it is because they wanted to sort of like inject those like older style Battlefield moments where you have more than a second to think on your feet and figure out a situation so you can get yourself out of it.
Yeah, for sure.
And like I think it's all crafted like incredibly well. There's
how many players?
It's 12
4 teams of 3. Yeah, 4 teams of 3.
Okay. That's interesting. It's very small.
It's a very quick paced thing, and it honestly feels like there's way more than 12 people.
It just feels because like
how much is going on, and like the respawn can feel kind of long sometimes, but obviously it must not be that long, just because there's always something going on, and that's probably why it feels so long, is because you're not doing something for like a few seconds and you're like but yeah, it's a very quick paced game. It's not like a big scale like sort of long battle like Battlefield is. It is like you're running into the action constantly,
almost immediately.
Yeah, from the rip, and just the whole vibe of it feels fast too. So it's like sort of presented almost like a game show, and your team is at the finals. And so it's like all the teams get presented at the beginning of the match, and then it literally shows your team running out, and then it cuts to the game, and you're like running towards the objective, like just, or I don't know, I guess you could be standing still if you weren't holding the buttons, but just the way it all flows into the game.
Itself.
Yeah, you like already start off running towards the objective. It's so fucking cool.
And you've got announcers and stuff that are saying shit the whole time.
Yeah.
Based off of like what's happening in the game. Which honestly, if you pay attention to them, they can be kind of fucking useful. They will literally say like, hey, one team only has one person left, or
and he has
hey,
a lot of money. Yeah. Like,
or hey, this team's knocked out. So now in your head you're like, okay, so now I know that there's two other teams that. And like, so, and you can hear the announcer, you can look up, there's like a crowd and everything. The presentation of the game is done like very, very well.
That's cool.
Yeah. And I mean, to be honest, like I'm just a giant slut for destructibility. Everything can be fucking broken in that game.
Everything.
Like virtually
so
everything. Good. There was a moment, there's one there's a lot of them, but there was one very, very tall building, and it kind of looks like a parking lot structure. And me and Crossy were like running towards the objective, and you just saw like this one piece of the building literally like break off and then just start falling over because and it wasn't scripted. It was literally because people had been breaking the inside so much that it just gave way and it started falling over off the side of the building.
Damn, that's pretty cool.
And it's like shit like that is just really cool, especially whenever you're like you have to get up there and then the floors just start cracking and breaking and you're jumping up onto all the different like broken pieces of ground and like climbing and shit. Yeah, it's so fucking cool. And
there's just like, go ahead.
Yeah. There like moments of like I've seen Crossy do this. I don't even know how many times where like we'll get into an area and the buildings are fairly complicated if you don't really know them all that well.
It's really annoying at first, but
it's a good thing. It is a good thing though.
It is.
But the buildings are fairly complicated. But we've run into a structure and then literally just been like, how the fuck do we get up there? Because we can see the objectives right there. Crossy blows a hole into the floor, and then the objective falls through the floor right in front of us. So like. Literally, like, let's say someone's like, because someone has to pop the objective and it takes like 10, maybe 5 seconds for the objective to pop in the money, and then the money flows out. Well, someone can pop that, and then you can be like, nah, and then you could break the floor underneath them, and then it'll fall down, and you'll just grab the money and fucking run.
Yes, nice. I did that a lot. Yeah, I loved doing that.
The like, gameplay is so organic, like, just, it's so fucking awesome.
It's awesome. I really can't wait for this game to actually exist, and it clearly still needs a lot of work. Let's just go ahead and lay that out. Like whether it be weird little bugs or weird little jank or balancing, it clearly needs like some love before it will be what it could be. But yeah, just the overall foundation of the game is so fucking good. But going back to the destructibility a little bit, there was literally this moment we were playing with somebody and like. I was kind of seeing what the destructibility could do. You know, I was really just curious how far it could go and how, I don't know, whatever. And I was fucking with this building, and then I go outside and I'm done fucking with it. It's just sort of catching up to like the destruction I've already done. And it's like slowly kind of starting to like something's happening to it. And so there's like this big building, and literally whatever happens, all of a sudden a giant like crack kind of just goes through the whole building, and I'm just watching it happen, and it's like slowly just falling apart.
That's cool.
Oh god, the destruction is so good.
It's something like, destruction is like something we left behind that we should have kept, right? Like I feel like 100%. Battlefield games really aren't much into destruction anymore, and like you know, like I feel like the games that are the most impressive destructible environments are still like 360 games, like Red Faction, Guerrilla.
Red Faction. Yep.
And
that's what it feels like a lot. The destruction really reminds me of Red Faction the most, just because probably the graphic style is not hyper realistic, so it kind of like takes me back to that the most. But that's how it feels. Is
well,
like
it's also
Red
that
Faction.
it's also that the buildings aren't made out of pieces, really.
Yeah.
Like, so wherever whatever part that you decide to impact, that's where it's going to fracture. It's not going to fracture. It's not going to break at one part and then break all around like here. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not made of fake squares, basically.
Yeah, it's very dynamic.
That's like how it's like so like Red Faction Guerrilla-esque is it's like everything is entirely dynamically structured. So and I mean, I just think destruction is so fucking important. Like, I mean, that's why like Siege is still my favorite FPS.
Yeah, I was gonna say, could this be our new Siege? I think. Okay, here's a question, because I feel like maybe they want to avoid this, but could they turn this into like a 20v20 or something, or a 10v10 kind of match, and it still be good?
I think it could use some other modes. I think this 12-person, like 4 teams of 3 mode is a great start, but I've been thinking about it a lot to like think about other modes they could just do with this foundation, and it would still be so good. I
capture the flag or something like that.
Or even, and I almost hate to say it, but even like a battle royale in this game would be really fucking cool. Not gonna lie. I could see them doing bigger player modes and bigger teams than 3 and stuff like that. But
I understand now that multiplayer games are just free to play by default. But when I hear that it's not going to be like a pay to enter, I do get a little bit discouraged in terms of the quality of the player base, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
But I want to try it. I think maybe later tonight, if you guys are around, I'd like to give it a shot.
I definitely think you should try it before it goes away in a few days. So today or tomorrow.
Like 2 days from now.
Yeah.
Okay. It looks cool. I was interested in it. I remember seeing trailers for it when they were kind of starting to put more attention on it, and I remember thinking it looked really cool. That, there's something about like Larian, right? It's like a small developer that had some good ideas that has ballooned into now like a household name with Baldur's Gate, right? Like I feel like these days almost any developer could become that, right? Like, I mean,
it's like it happened with Project Red, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's exciting to see these studios come together and make something that's, very focused on exactly what they want it to be, which is more than ever what we need with multiplayer games, because that's the problem with games now, is that they're just they're like too big to steer the ship. It's like, how could Battlefield be good again, right? Like, there are almost too many moving parts to even answer that question. DICE clearly has no idea.
So, I think like, to be completely honest, they would have to like rewind the fucking clock, bro. Go back to start from where it used to work and try again.
Yeah.
That Company 3, baby, do it.
Yeah, they might.
Is whatever they're fucking doing, it's not fucking working. Scrap it and go back. Like, rewind 10 years.
Clearly, with BattleBit, people wanted Battlefield 2 again. That's the most Battlefield 2-ass game I've ever played. So, if that game wasn't so fucking hideous, I'd probably enjoy it a little bit more. But
that's a great game, bro. That's a really good game.
I mean, it was good. I agree. I like it. There's something
especially if you like just like pure concentrated retardation with the voice chats.
Yeah,
that shit's fun.
I find it hard to parse visually, like, because of just how weird that game looks. But I don't know. That's not really. Well,
to be honest, like Battlefield 1, that's a perfectly fine Battlefield game.
It is. That's true.
That's a great Battlefield game.
It's pretty good. Well, they ruined it. You know how they ruined it? Actually, I heard about this recently. Apparently, so remember Battlefield 1, the big complaint was on balance, because they had automatic weapons in a fucking World War I game. It was like very hard to like, I mean, okay, well, why would anyone ever have a bolt action rifle that's not a sniper?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like things like that. They apparently introduced a mode that is just like only bolt actions for everyone. So like super realistic, like, like you basically have a bolt action, you have a pistol. That's it.
That's cool. I'm down.
And I was like, I should download and play that. Like, I need to check that out.
But that sounds cool. That game is like cinema. Like, it's cool. So fucking crazy. I remember playing it when it came out and just being fucking floored by it.
Somehow every Battlefield game all the way back to like 4 still looks really good. Even 3 honestly still looks pretty good. I mean,
yeah.
But yeah, and I don't know.
they run phenomenally too.
They do.
They run really fucking well.
Yeah, DICE has performed some magic somewhere. I don't know what happened, but those games. I heard 2042. I never played it, but I heard 2042.
I played the beta.
Had some performance issues a little bit, but I've heard they've turned that game around as well. It's too little, too late, I think, but
yeah, it probably is.
I did hear that game actually, like, they've been listening to player feedback. They've been more open to making changes. They fixed a lot of bugs. Like, people are saying it's good. So I don't know. Maybe I'll try it out one day.
The cool thing about like going back to the finals is like also every single class has like a role too. So like you also get that aspect, which I don't know. I think everyone fucking loves that about.
How many classes are there?
Well, there's
light,
frames.
medium, heavy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have a frame, so you can be light, faster, lower health, medium, heavy, so on. And the heavies can be like area of control. The lights are basically more about like being more tactical, so they can go fast, they can get away. They can basically, like, if you have money that you need to deposit, that's what they're for. Is to get away. And then mediums can be like medics, basically. So like they have the defibs, they have the healing gun.
Yeah, they have a lot of utility.
That's cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They also have jump pads for your whole team, like stuff like that.
So how is it just one round and then done and on to the next match, or how do you?
Yeah, they're pretty quick. I think maximum match can be 15 minutes, and they never last that long. Almost never have we made it to the time limit, and never.
And there's a ranked mode that they have that is available right now. We haven't tried it all that much, but it's a tournament style. So the rounds are still 15 minutes, but it's knockout style.
I see.
So you survive, you go on to the next round, blah blah. So that if you wanted a longer experience, it's there for you. Personally, I love being able to just jump in 15 minutes if you're getting railed by like 3 light dudes with swords. And you want out, you can get out because it's only 15 minutes and you're done. You don't have to see those fuckers again.
How do you see the monetization coming in? Is this going to be like skins? Is this going to be like a battle pass?
For sure. So they already have like a faux battle pass initiated. You get everything that you unlock is will carry over into your account whenever it's fully released. So the battle pass that will carry over and then they also give you 10,000 in their in-game fun bucks that you can spend on any of the cosmetics that you want. And the cosmetics are actually really fucking dope. There's some of the coolest, like, it's like techwear shit.
Yeah,
which I've never seen in a game before. But it looks cool.
Yeah. Deus Ex had some good techwear, but yes.
So hey, I'm all for it.
My actual clothes represented in a game I actually like playing.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
It's interesting how little techwear seems to be.
You don't like playing Deus Ex?
Yes. I just never have, actually. Not for any reason, too. It's kind of one of those weird things I just never got around to.
The daddy of techwear, Errolson Hugh, he founded the brand called Acronym and then went on to do Arc'teryx Valence, which are basically the 2 preeminent brands for techwear. And it's all really expensive, but Acronym designed Adam Jensen's jacket in Deus Ex Human Revolution. That was the whole
that's
thing.
Cool.
Nice. Yeah.
Anyway,
that's pretty cool.
Cool. I should check it out. I haven't played really any multiplayer anything recently. Like competitive multiplayer anyway. I hear bad things about that new Call of Duty, at least campaign wise. I guess nobody really knows about the multiplayer.
Did you see like the shit that people have been saying?
Yeah, I guess people are like
4 hours long or some shit.
It's 4 hours long, and it's like almost like playing Warzone, but with AI, I guess. They're like it's open world, so you like drive to an objective and then try to tackle that objective how you want, but like the game wasn't really designed for that. I don't know.
Well, supposedly the next portion of the story after, because from what I have read, it does not tie the whole story very well. So they think that the next portion of the story is going to be specifically through Warzone.
Oh God.
So yeah.
That's a real shame.
Wow.
That's a money move right there for sure. Somebody was like,
yeah,
we can make
bro.
more money
They
by
literally
doing this.
took Modern Warfare 2 maps and re-released them for Modern Warfare 3.
Did they? I didn't know that. I haven't been paying attention that much. I mean, okay. Actually, you know what though? To be fair, they've been doing that even when the games were universally everybody thought they were good. Like I remember when Modern Warfare 2 2010 came out or 2009 came out, everybody was like, "Bro, where's Crash? Where's Crash from Modern Warfare 1?" Like, I mean, people wanted the fucking maps. So, I mean, that's like a normal thing.
But when they re-released Modern Warfare 2, they could have taken, like, what are the fucking maps called? I can't think of them in my head. But they were ones that were
Rust.
not...
Yeah.
Yeah. They could have just fucking slapped all that shit into the Modern Warfare 2 one. But instead, they're putting it in Modern Warfare 3.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean...
Disgusting behavior. All right? I will be boycotting Bethesda, Activision, everyone. Bungie, you're kind of... I might be coming for you
basically
soon.
you're just against Microsoft now?
I don't know, maybe.
Because they own those.
Yeah. I mean, Activision, I don't think... What is an Activision game that's not Call of Duty that has come out recently?
I don't know.
Is there one?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, well, they published Sekiro. That's right.
Yeah, it was a joke.
Yeah, but I mean, that's a good point. I mean, does count, I guess.
Wait, does Crash count? Is that an Activision game?
It is Crash, but the last Crash game was just the remaster of the first 3 Crash games, wasn't it?
There was one this year that's like a MOBA.
Crash Team
really
Rumble.
Bad. Yeah.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
Actually,
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, bro.
Did Crash 5 come out last year or 4? People liked that.
Crash 4 came out sometime after COVID. I couldn't tell you when.
People liked that, I remember. Sorry, what did you say, Merced? What else?
It was fine.
We got Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
HD? Yeah, great. Re-releases of good games.
Yeah.
I don't count that shit.
God
That's
bless.
what they're best at, dude.
I guess Diablo 4 is technically an Activision game.
I can't believe, like, fuck, because Blizzard released their announcement, of the new expansion for World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Everyone's still gonna play that shit for real. Nobody's tired of that garbage yet.
I can't believe that they got the opportunity to rewind the clock with World of Warcraft Classic, and they're just making all the same mistakes, but in slow motion again. I don't really understand. Like, people were so mad about Cataclysm, which, don't get me wrong, I think it's a phenomenal idea for an MMO to one day be like, the world is different now. Like, that is cool. But
it was cool back then.
It was cool back then, but, like, I think, okay, if you're going to turn the clock back, to make some different choices. Like, let's see what else you got. You know what I mean? Like, try something else. I don't know. That
would be cool if we got like an alternate universe style fucking World of Warcraft history. Yeah.
Like, go open up that old MacBook, find the old script you had that got thrown away, and let's run with that this time. Let's see if people like it more. I don't know. Yeah,
I'm convinced that these fucking cucks are going to be playing World of Warcraft until they fucking die, bro.
They are.
I watched
absolutely.
I know. I watched the new trailer and I was like, I mean, it does look fun, but that's just because World of Warcraft is the same game. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's always been fun. The problem is that I don't have time to do that anymore. And like, the funny thing about it is, I was like, when do they stop? And I was like, I guess they just don't. Stop.
Yeah.
Because
of course
it makes millions of dollars.
All the retards still buy it. It doesn't matter.
It makes millions of dollars, and you have no. I mean, I'm not going to say you don't have to dedicate resources to it, because you definitely do, but it's just it's been written into your books for the last 20 years, right? Like, you know, when you run a business, you have like a profit and loss idea, and you know what your costs are going to be. If you just get to keep updating the same game, your costs are going to stay, I would imagine, a pretty straight line, but your profit can be, you know, based on the quality of that thing, right? So I don't know. I mean, I guess they just get to do it forever now. And that's imagine being a developer. Like, maybe, I don't know, maybe they love their job, but imagine being a developer who's been chained to the World of Warcraft desk for the last 12 years. They've got like a gigantic one of those comical like cartoon balls, you know, like the really big heavy iron balls just
the
right
ball
next
and
to
chain, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They're like, hey bro, can I go to the bathroom? And like, not until you write 4 more quest giver dialogues. God damn it. Like what?
Well,
Please,
that's like
I want to see my children.
That's like all the DICE devs also that, you know, it's like
That's
they
true,
were like,
yeah.
I don't want to make Battlefield
So
games
true.
anymore. Are you guys gonna not make Battlefield games? They're like, no, we're gonna keep making Battlefield games.
Yeah.
And they were like, okay, I guess I have to leave.
Yeah.
Same thing happened with some of the League devs.
Well, they were like, you saw what happened to Creative Assembly. They make one Alien game and suddenly they're out of money. Yeah, I don't know. It's fucking nuts.
It seems like every single fucking straw is the one that can break the camel's back for fucking video games, dude.
Yeah,
like you go out of your way to make something that's a little bit more creative, like a little bit more
no
unique,
one buys it,
you know, and you have to appease all of these giant pants shitting babies that are the fucking video gamers. Like, if you do anything even remotely wrong, you're getting like 20 fucking Reddit threads about how you basically like killed their dog.
I've been thinking about this recently. You know what's really scary is that somehow, like, it used to only be video games that were this way. How is it everything now? How did that happen? Like, how do we get to a point?
Gamers are everywhere now.
It's true. How did we get to that point where movies are now video games in terms of fandom levels of like brain,
like regurgitation,
brain drain? No, I just mean like the whole Marvel thing, like the Martin Scorsese stuff. Like all the Marvel fans are like gonna assassinate. He's gonna get Shinzo Abe in the fucking streets the next time he goes to like a premiere or something. Like what is going on? Why is everyone just insane about things?
Are people mad about Scorsese's new film? I haven't seen it yet.
No, people are mad because Scorsese is he's like vocally critical about Marvel movies.
Marvel films, yeah.
And so like
based, bro. Holy
I know.
Shit,
yeah, yes. For sure. I mean, it's like, okay. I mean, like, here's the thing is there definitely was a time where Marvel had artistic merit. That time is relatively past at this point. I mean, we've gotten to a point where like the Marvels is coming out in 3 weeks. With you. I'm sorry, Crossley.
No, not at all. No, I mean it's. I forget back when he said it, but it was especially valid back then because I'm pretty sure he said it before any good movies came out from Marvel, and that's the thing with Marvel. For me, is that like every now and then they actually do something pretty. Actually, I would say good.
What?
Yeah. I feel like there was like Iron Man 1, not bad, pretty good. That's actually,
great
honestly.
Movie. That's
not bad, pretty fucking
it's
good.
Probably the best one still.
Exactly.
One of the best ones.
So can I fucking talk? All right.
Okay,
So after that, it's like, okay, these are all pretty fucking bad. How do we get the Iron Man again? And then I think there's maybe like 3 other movies that are, I would say, actually good, like Iron Man are.
What are they?
Spread throughout time. And so back then, though, that's when I think he was quoted for shitting on Marvel movies. Is like back when they were all pretty much shit. And so now there's just a handful that are okay. But yeah, overall, I agree. They're like sort of like, I don't want to say the Call of Duties of movies because that's not accurate, but they're definitely like...
Yeah, I would say that that's as accurate as you could get.
It's like you hit the nail on the head, actually. I've never thought of it that way, but you're absolutely right.
Yeah, so that, I mean, if that's the best way to put it, then it is. But I don't think every now and then they nail a Call of Duty, I guess is what I mean. But every now and then a actually decent thing produced by Marvel comes out.
Maybe it's the League of Legends of movies. Where it just keeps going. They keep bringing in new characters and new, but it's overall the same thing.
Yeah, Marvel is Riot Games.
Yeah,
confirmed.
It's got like one single universe that's like
exactly.
Within,
okay. Yeah.
But when shit starts to go downhill, they bring in like Zoe or some shit.
Yeah, right. But I guess my point wasn't to like bring up this debate again. My point was just to say that somehow that level of like foaming at the mouth anxiety over people liking or not liking the same things you do has transitioned away from just what was video games, because I feel like video games have always been that way, unfortunately. Like it was the main thing that people used to criticize about gamers was that they were weird about their hobby. Now it's everything. It's everything now. But particularly all media. I mean, even music is getting a bit of it.
I was gonna say music is starting to feel like, I mean, like back in the day, of course, like you had like almost like, I mean, but this is when we were young, so like this is kind of like normal is to see like factions of people almost amongst their like music tastes.
Yeah,
you know, like people who listen to hip hop, people who listen to metal, blah blah, like all that kind of stuff. But like now it really does feel like, because music has become so, not become, but music is just
blurred.
Yes. Yeah. So now everything is just so unique, and it's so difficult to pin down a lot of music down to a single genre.
Agreed.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems like, I mean, people's tastes in particular are very easily scrutinized based on that alone.
I liked your approach earlier when you were like, it's because everyone's a gamer now, or like gamers are everywhere now. But Swifties are not gamers, but somehow they're more intense than we ever were. Do you know what I mean? Like there's like a cult attitude out there.
They're like on the levels of like ideologues though.
It's like worship.
Swifties aren't gamers?
I mean, maybe some are. I don't know, but I mean, I said episodes being a gamer.
A lot of gamers are Swifties. I just need. It's like when
true?
you realize. It's like when you realize way more people are furries than you ever thought. It's the same thing with Swifties. I guarantee your closest people in your life are Swifties and you don't know it.
Wait, hold on. I think when he says Swifties, he's not saying someone who can listen to a Taylor Swift song.
No,
yo, this is a bop.
I'm saying these are the people that are like,
what am I?
Like
Swift,
unhinged.
bro.
I find myself Googling furry population of the US right now. Hold on.
There's no fucking way that you're gonna get an accurate
Wait,
number.
did Chandler not know? There's more furries than
there's a lot of furries.
Over 250,000 people in the US identify as a furry. Okay.
If I had to take a crack, at it,
it's not that many actually.
I would say 5%. If I had to take a crack at it,
of the US,
probably yeah.
What is?
If I had to take a crack at it, maybe 2%. Then
still. Yeah, that's 5%'s a little high, man. There's 331 million people in the United States right now. I don't want to do math right now. 5%.
No, we're here. We're doing it.
Okay, 5% is 1,655,000 people. No, sorry, 16,550,000 people.
All right, 5 might be a little high.
5% is a lot of people.
Well, yeah, I'm also terminally online at the moment, so
yeah,
that colors my perception.
I guess that's what I mean about like okay, I get what you're saying is like, yes, I mean there are a lot of furries out there. I mean there's conventions in multiple cities across this country that people go to, right, and are busy, but that scale only seems like a lot because it's a lot of people that you're naturally going to associate with, right?
Yeah.
That's true for us. We're online people, we're gamers, we're in a younger generation. But compared to the broad spectrum of the experience, I don't think a lot of people think about furries regularly. Somehow there's the Taylor Swift is fucking everywhere. I mean, people are thinking about Taylor Swift all the time.
To be explicitly clear, Swift is way bigger than the furry community.
Yes.
Her fandom eclipses furries by a lot. I'm just saying, similarly to furries, there are way more Swifties in your everyday life.
You're saying they're hidden in plain sight.
Yeah, it takes a lot less effort to be a Swiftie.
I actually don't think that's true. I think to be a Swiftie, you have to go online and pick fights with people, or you're not officially in.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah. To be a Swiftie, you have to perform the sacrifice ritual at the beginning of Alan Wake 2.
Bro, have you seen those like videos of like people like in like movie theaters and shit, all like holding hands in a circle, and it's like literally looks like a cult? It's just a bunch of like Swifties.
It looks like Midsummer, but.
Yeah,
it's pretty crazy.
They do, they do this crossly. Whenever I think
because the concert movie came out crossly.
Yeah.
I think of those people. I don't think of
that's what I'm talking about too. I'm not talking about people that just casually enjoy her music. Yeah. I'm talking about the fucking heart. There are more of those than you would think.
Yeah,
I don't think
so
I know
too.
A single one.
I think they're out there. I think they're hidden in plain sight in your life.
They are.
They
definitely are.
You're gonna
like for instance, Greg Miller is one.
What?
I swear to God, there's evidence of this. Hard evidence.
But do you think he's like a little bit joking? Like he likes the music and he's kind of joking about
him is probably hard to tell, but
yeah. Like I mean, there's no way for this to be like not mean, but like I think of Swifties as not necessarily
well-adjusted
There's
human
no way
beings.
for this to be
yeah,
not me.
well adjusted is a good way of putting it. But I what I was gonna say is not like self-aware about what their fandom is.
Looks like.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Like
oh,
I
I'm
don't.
sure. I mean, they don't care. They're like, oh, validation. Like
Yeah.
you know, like it's like they're in their fucking circle.
And that's a few episodes ago when I compared being a gamer to being a Swiftie. That's what I mean is like gamers lack self-awareness in their hobby. Like they lack. First of all,
in what way?
They don't understand how the thing they like is made at all. Gamers do not.
That's true a lot.
They do not understand how it's made, and so they make baseless and strange criticisms out of nowhere that make no sense for how businesses, especially technology and like software development, works. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then to make matters worse, they double down because they have no internal self-awareness. Do you know what I mean? Like they're just stubborn in very weird ways. Yeah. And then even more than that, somehow they're so socially maladjusted that they can't separate the things they like from the people who are around them who maybe don't like them, right? So they like come into contact with people who don't share the same feelings about, and they take it as like a personal attack. It's like oh, like if somebody was like, I don't, you know, like crossly we joke about like hating things that each other likes, right? But we're still friends. It's not like we're like I judge you as a person for liking Anthem, even though I do a little bit, but you know what I mean? Like it's like those two categories, like Swifties and gamers, are Swifters. Yeah, that's what we're calling. That's what we're the hard R.
The hardy.
That's what I'm calling. I'm gonna call gamer Swifties Swifters. No, that's like what their overlap is that lack of like self-understanding about what their hobby really is, right? Which is like you go online and you see people who are like Taylor Swift fans, like have conspiracy theories about like why she's with the football guy. Like they're like, oh, like she's, I don't know, like making his brand more valuable for now, and like she's making a lot of money through the NFL or something. You know what I mean? Like she's invested in the NFL and she's getting returns on his merch. You know, like shit like that. You're like, dude, what the fuck are you?
And dissecting what
you would
certain lyrics are about and stuff.
Yeah, you would be so fucking shocked. I mean, I'm sure you know this, but it's like it is very shocking to find out how much people actually like care about the personal lives of the people who create the entertainment that they enjoy.
Yeah, that's wild to me.
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
I'll admit, like I probably have like more of a curiosity about that kind of stuff sometimes when like something's going on with like a famous person that I remotely care about. I'll have like my own, you know, morbid curiosity sometimes. But yeah, like how you're saying, I can't fucking believe it.
The K-pop thing is similar, right? It's
but that's on a whole nother fucking level.
Yeah,
that's
for
like,
sure.
Jesus Christ, those people are fucking insane. There was like a chick that whenever I was working at fucking Superior, there's a chick that I was talking to, and I had to pretend, you know, like desperate for pussy voice, like, okay, what's this K-pop artist relation to this one? Like, because she just loved K-pop, and whenever we talked about music or something, she'd be like, oh yeah, and he's dating this and this and this, and I was like, that's very interesting. Like, I don't give a fuck at all, bro.
Oh man,
like, yeah. It's just very shocking. People care a lot about that.
I mean, I'm sure that's how we sound when we talk about fucking Elden Ring or whatever. You know what I mean? Or you're like, fear the old blood, Lawrence, and they're like, we don't give a shit.
Like I talk about like Shadow of the Colossus, and I was like, did you know that the garden at the top of the tower is actually an allegory for Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden? And I'm just like, I don't fucking care.
Which, if you think about it, not exactly a very subtle allegory in the long run, but I mean, they're both gardens.
Not really. Well, I mean, it's pretty fucking cool, dude. You fucking shoot the apple that's been giving you life the whole game, and you eat it, and it takes away your health permanently. I was like 13,
it's cool.
Bro.
It was very cool, and the way it connects in that game is really cool. Yeah, I mean,
for sure.
But I think that's the thing is like if you're not involved in the thing, then no matter how you explain it, it's never going to sound as good unless you're invested in it. Like this happens to me all the time. people who do not give enough of a shit about something, and you try to explain it to them, they're like, "Oh, okay, very interesting," and you're like,
"Yeah,
but you don't get it, bro."
You don't listen to me.
Yeah. Okay.
What happened to that team that made Last Guardian? Did they die? Yeah.
That's a good question. I don't know if they're even working on anything. Are they?
I thought that there was another game announced that they were working on. Am I wrong? Oh,
I hope you're right.
Wait.
Yeah, new game in 2023.
Oh.
Wait, what is his new studio called?
Game Colossus.
Okay, Gen Design, because Team Ico went out of business in 2011. By the way, so
it's Fumito is the one that's
Ueda
carrying.
Yeah, Ueda-san is the director. He's been the director for Ico, Shadow of the Colossus, and The Last Guardian.
Right. Yeah.
So The Last Guardian was released through his new company, Gen Design, to finish work on The Last Guardian. So Team Ico went out of business while they were working on it. They released it.
Weird thing.
I did not know that. That's interesting.
And
was it just like a kind of like a consolidation thing, or because they're owned by Sony, right? Or no, they just partnered with Sony.
They partnered with Sony.
Wasn't consolidation, though.
But they had a contract.
I mean, their games never sold well.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's true. Damn. But they had a contract with Sony to finish The Last Guardian, so he went to a different studio to finish it. Okay. It says here in March 2020, Epic Games announced that they would be fully funding development of a new.
There you go.
Of a new game. So
hopefully be like, sort of similar to how we were talking with Alan Wake, that they just get to fully realize what they're trying to do then.
Yeah, true.
That would be nice.
Yeah, I'm interested.
Yeah.
I'm interested. I did not play The Last Guardian even for 1 second. But
I played the VR demo they did, which is just like a clip of that game in VR basically, and that was some of the most fun I've had in VR, and I'm really sad it didn't get a full release because it was really cool.
I bet that is cool. I should play that game. I never even played the remaster of Shadow of the Colossus, so.
Which one?
What do you mean? Was the PS4 one, right?
They did a re-release on PS3 and then Bluepoint remade it from scratch.
Yeah. I never played the Bluepoint one. Okay. Any other games before we want to wrap up here? I don't feel like, we kind of talked about some news, but I don't feel like there's much. I mean, Bungie did some layoffs. Everybody's mad at them right now. Destiny 2 apparently is 45% off budget.
It's really bad
this year. So they're missing their revenue target by 45%, which is just impressive levels of mismanagement. Like,
see, I was very shocked at whenever I was reading that, because I thought that game was still massively popular.
I'm sure that
game had a bunch of heroin addicts still playing it.
I'm sure they do. Yeah.
I kind of was watching a podcast that was sort of trying to figure out why it would be, and we're sort of saying that this year's just kind of been so stacked for games that probably a lot of returning players decided to play other things this year because there's been so many good games.
True.
I don't know if that's true, but
I never even thought about that. But yeah, games as a service type games probably suffer greatly in years like this.
So this is just Steam. So this is not consoles at all. There are 50,000 people playing Destiny 2 right now.
It's a lot. I think, right?
That is a lot.
That's healthy. Yeah, that's incredibly healthy.
That's extremely healthy. I mean, that's a lot of people. I mean, most games don't see that.
They probably overprojected, and they I don't know if they're configuring this into that 45%, but the pre-sales for the next DLC are abysmally lower than they expected to.
Yeah.
Which factored into the layoffs.
Yeah, so when the last expansion came out around Christmas time, right? Last year?
I have no idea. Honestly.
Yeah, I don't know.
They always see a spike in February, so they must release their expansions in February, I guess. I don't know. The last big spike of consistent players was 316,000 at one time, all at the same time in February of this year. And they saw a similar spike last year in February in 2022. So,
interesting.
Yeah. It's
The bigger issue, marathon delayed. Big sad.
Yeah, well, did you hear why?
Oh, did they announce that?
Yeah, they announced that.
A bunch of people play tested Marathon and said it was shit. They play tested it and they were like they got a bunch of streamers in apparently, which is the worst place to get feedback, to be honest. But they got a bunch of streamers in and they made them play it, and then they said, if this was out tomorrow, would you stream it like for fun, like for your audience? And all of them said no.
Damn.
That was the report. So
brutal.
Does not bode well, especially when, you know, games like the finals are coming out and basically designed to eat their lunch. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Bungie in a weird place. Meanwhile, fucking Halo Infinite is like experiencing a bit of a resurgence.
Yeah, it's coming back. I've heard a lot of people saying they're popping back in, like both that I know and like just on podcasts and stuff. And I don't know. I guess they had a big update. I genuinely don't know why people are coming back, but it has me interested. One of the things, I mean, I don't remember if y'all played Halo Infinite on launch. That was some of the most fun playing Halo I think I've ever had. Yeah. And they just didn't keep up with updates and I fell out of it. But if there's more content now, I'm definitely eager to hop back in.
It's modern Halo, and the funny part too is like I'd be down to hop back in because they fixed a lot of the matchmaking issues.
They did
that were like very weird that they even had in the first place, like in terms of like not being able to choose your game type, like just, you know, a very low number of maps that are playable, like shit like that. Like it was like you were basically at the mercy of like matchmaking on release. Apparently they fixed all of that, which was like my main gripe with the game, because the game itself is fine.
Yeah, agreed.
It's a modern Halo, feels really good, still keeps that same energy. So
for comparison,
I'll be down to play it.
I'll just give you guys this really quick. For comparison, so the lifetime peak of Halo Infinite on Steam, this is just Steam, by the way, so Game Pass not included, but obviously that's a substantial number of people. The lifetime peak is similar to what it was with Destiny 2, about 300,000 people. It fell within 2 months to 50,000 and has basically been around 10 on Steam since release.
And this is on Steam numbers?
This is Steam, just Steam. Game Pass obviously doesn't share numbers.
What's it at now, like lately?
Right now on Steam, it's at 7,000.
Okay. So it's probably realistically sitting at like 11 to 12-ish.
No, because if you got to think about it. So and I don't think, does Destiny 2 have crossplay between console and PC or no?
It does now. It does? I don't know if it always did, but it does now.
Okay, that's good. So, I mean, if you think about like player population, imagine that PC is definitely going to be the smallest portion always. And then if you consider the fact that Steam is going to be even smaller because most people have Game Pass and are just going to play it there. So let's say Steam is 7,000. I would say you could expect at least 10 additional 1,000 on Game Pass, right?
Yeah.
Maybe more. And then say, because it's crossplay, then you also have Xbox players, so another 20 on Xbox. So that's a healthy game, I would say. That's a healthy game. I'm not
I was definitely thinking of it from the perspective of like just PC. I like literally console just falls out of my brain all the time whenever I'm thinking about.
I mean, you know what? We've preferred to play PC now for the last 10 plus years. So, I mean, I think that's just where we're at. I guess Crossley's kind of different than that. Like he kind of bounces back and
I'm not going to lie. I mean, I played a good number of games on my PS5. Bro, that shit's fucking awesome.
It's good.
Like, I was like, why don't I do this more often?
It's
like
good.
Anytime I'm, God of War was fucking amazing.
I only play
remake
exclusives, but I did play Dead Space Remake on my Xbox, actually, now that you mention it.
It was so good.
Yeah.
I mean, my PS5 is just kind of collecting dust now, but hey.
Anything I don't need to accurately aim, I'm there for it.
You should definitely give Alan Wake a shot. I don't know what it was, but I did not like the.
And you were saying it has adaptive triggers on PC, right?
Yeah, it's
really?
like selectively, yes.
Cool.
It basically like goes in and out. It's very weird.
That's kind of cool. Okay. Yeah, no, I like mouse and keyboard. I'm gonna stick with it, honestly.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. But I was just thinking about like I gotta dust off my controller. I bought that Starfield controller and have not used it even one time, but I just like looking at it. But I'm gonna use it for Liza P. I was like I gotta dust that controller off and play Liza P.
You really should. I wanna do a New Game Plus. I already started my New Game Plus run on that. That's a good fucking game, bro. God damn.
Any other games?
Have you heard of Lethal Authority or whatever?
It's Lethal Company.
Lethal Company. I was close.
Yes, Lethal Company for all you listening. I believe it's like $10, right?
Dude, Chandler.
Oh yeah, I did see this. Yeah.
Very, very good survival horror with friends. If you're looking for something.
Yeah. I watched a little bit of gameplay of this. I should check it out. I saw you guys playing it the other night too.
For a game that is that ugly, it is very immersive. It's done very, very well.
Is it procedurally generated, or?
Yes, the dungeons are.
Okay, yeah, they are. Yeah,
that outside world, I don't think is.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, it's cool, dude. It's cool. I don't really know what to say about it other than it's just sci-fi like horror co-op shenanigans, really.
It's like sci-fi phasmophobia, and whoever stays in the van is actually playing Five Nights at Freddy's while everyone else is getting loot and stuff.
Sounds terrible.
It's crazy, bro. Like Crossley, isn't it crazy? It's like really good. So like you'll be in the van, right? And you have a camera that has an overhead view of the dungeon that your friends are in, and you have to be on the walkie telling them like what monsters are around them and everything. And then all of a sudden you'll just hear something. You'll be like, "What the fuck?" And you'll look at your camera inside, and there's like a monster on the fucking camera that's like looking at everything outside. You have to run to the door and like shut the thing so they can't get in.
Oh
like,
man.
Yeah. Oh, and one thing they did that was really cool is that so when your friends are going through the dungeon and then you're acting almost as like a DM where you can like look in and see everything, you can tell them where to go to keep them safe. There are doors and there are turrets that they will run into. And you can actually, there's a little computer that's right next to you while you're in the van. And if you look at the number on the door that's assigned to, you can actually type it in and then you can unlock doors for them. You can turn on and off turrets using the little DOS computer right next to you.
Cool.
Yeah, it's actually really, really cool.
Nice. Early access, I see.
Yes. I personally like the being the van man in that game. But it's all very cool. For $10, that's a hell of a deal.
Okay.
I recommend.
Yeah. All right.
If you have friends, if you're a loser, I would not waste the $10.
Don't have any. I don't have any friends. I've never had a friend. They can't stand me. Okay, I think that's it. I'll say this. I did. I brought my Switch. I was in Mexico for a week, and I was like, all right, well, I have some downtime when things aren't happening or on planes. I'm like, what am I going to play? I played a shitload of Advance Wars.
Oh, you did it.
I played Advance Wars 1. I beat the campaign, and now I'm going back and mopping up all the missions. I think I'm going to 100% that game. That game's really fucking good. It turns
That's
out.
a good Switch game.
I hated the graphics.
I hate the graphics. I cannot stand the graphics. But honestly, because they changed the art style from the pixelated, like, cool thing it was before to, like, rounded fucking Dora the Explorer.
I remember this. Look at how they massacred my fucking boy, dude. Yeah, that's so weird.
It does suck, but
I wish they would have done the like 2D 3D thing that like Octopath does and stuff.
Yeah, they should have. I mean, they could have done pretty much anything other than what they did, so I don't know what the hell they were thinking. But
if you haven't gotten Octopath Traveler 2, I got it on the Switch.
No, is that this year also?
This year too.
Yeah, this year. God.
That's a great game. That's also
you know
really
what
good
didn't
game.
come out this year, or didn't even fucking may as well not have existed at all. Why? What's up with my Elden Ring DLC, dude? What is going on?
They're
What do you
taking their
mean? It's
they're taking their time, man.
Yeah.
They said, I like how they released a statement. What was it yesterday? Where they were like, "Everything's running smooth." It's like, okay, thanks.
That's all I need, dude.
Oh god damn it, dude. It's like I remember the last time we talked about this, Crossley, we like looked at the Twitter account and they just hadn't posted in over a year or something.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? Like they just I mean, I understand taking your time, but it's so funny because like I mean, it's been 2 years. It's been
so
2 years.
What? That's what, so good.
Did they divert?
I'm just like, fuck yeah.
What could they be doing?
A lot of the resources.
Making it good.
Did they divert a lot of the resources to Armored Core?
No idea. I have no idea.
It's the Sekiro team working on Armored Core.
Okay, that's what I thought.
That's right.
So I wasn't sure if that was like possibly part of it.
So like
2 years?
It's been 2 years.
In February, it'll be 2 years.
No shot, bro. Wow. That's wild.
It's just, I mean, maybe on the 2-year anniversary is when. It's just crazy we haven't heard anything.
I think we'll get a trailer at Game Awards and a release date. I mean, if we don't, then that's still fine because that just means it's potentially even further away, which means it's going to be even better and bigger. So that's all I care about is getting a fuck ton of content so I can play this game for another 400 hours.
Yeah. Maybe that is what they're doing. It's just funny because normally they don't do one huge expansion, right? Usually they do a few little ones. I mean, even the one for Bloodborne was not massive.
Intended to be what it was too. It was supposed to be 2 smaller releases, or maybe even 3 smaller releases actually, and they just
I think 2
did it all
right.
into one thing.
But I mean, which is fine. I mean, I don't but it's just funny. It's just usually they announce things when they're about ready. So it's killing me that they
that's why I think it'll happen at Game Awards, because I imagine it's coming.
Yeah, Game Awards I think is gonna have quite a bit of good announcements. I think Monster Hunter is going to be one of them as well.
Oh, really?
For sure. Yeah,
I think like World 2 or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's. I don't know if it'll be called World 2, but that's definitely going to be the vibe. Is going to be World 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because Capcom did specifically state that they still had one more game to announce. I believe it was by the end of the year. For a game that would sell millions of copies, quote unquote. They knew this IP.
I did see that. Yeah, I remember them saying that, and I was like, I have no idea what they're talking about. But Monster Hunter is a good guess. Yeah, I was thinking maybe they would do like another like quick Resident Evil remaster, like when they did 2-3, they just do 4 and then like bang out.
I would be down still. I mean, well, actually,
2-3 was like what, a year apart, right?
Probably, if I had to guess. Yeah,
I think you're right. Yeah,
I played those games like a little bit after they came out, probably a year or so after, so I don't remember exactly. But I mean, after 4, they're gonna have to go to 5, right?
No, I mean they could do any one of the side games if they wanted, just real quick. They could just throw it together. 0. What was the other one?
Oh yeah, Umbrella. Fucking the really bad one. They could remake the fucking horrible one. What was it called? I played the shit out of that game when I was little. No, I played the fuck out of it. Resident Evil PS1 games. I'll know by just the fucking cover. Survivor.
Oh yeah, Survivor. Okay.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, good.
Good. Yeah, he's gatekeeping you, bro. You're funny.
You don't know
bro.
what bad games are.
Yeah. You ain't got it like that, bro. Okay, yeah, Monster Hunter. Any other games that are coming out that you're gonna pick up?
Bro, Ready or Not is gonna get announced at the Game Awards this year.
But actually, like
it's actually
like literally
it actually is.
Is it really?
Yeah, they said it in their dev update for October.
Okay.
Or for that week. That being said, me and Merced were talking about how we think it'll get like its big update and quote unquote full release at the same time. So
like
I guess
same
December.
Day. It'll be like available now.
That's my take, because they've been working on this big update for so long, and they keep talking about how it's almost ready. So
yeah,
and then they teased that they were going to be showing something at Game Awards. So yeah, I think it'll be announcing full release and releasing the big update. That's my thoughts.
Okay.
Are you guys hold on.
What do you think he's going to ask?
No idea. But to quickly talk about Spider-Man, it's kind of what we sort of talked about before. It's like just more of the same game, but better, you know? So that part of it has been like as expected, and I was kind of not into it at first. I played it a lot more last night. I put like 3 or 4 hours in, and it's finally picking up. And like,
what's your total playtime so far? Like,
probably less than 10 hours.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out how long it is.
Like 6.
Okay,
it can't be that long. If I had to guess, it's probably around the length of the first one.
Okay, was that like 20?
We'll see. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
But we'll see. But yeah, I'm starting to get like more of the things that are unique to this one that like show me why I got this game. Basically, I'm getting to more of the cool stuff, and the story's picking up. Which for me, that's like a bigger part of it. Like liking Marvel stuff, like I want the writing to actually be good. And yeah, it's starting to pick up, and you know, it's just a good video game, good action game. But
I'm gonna do what I always do and finally play Miles Morales now that that the new one is out. That's what I did when Miles Morales came out. Also, I played the first one.
Yeah, Miles Morales is so short. There's really no reason not to. It's a fun time. But yeah, otherwise this game, it's not blowing my mind. It's just fun.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see how it evolves.
I'd like to hear how it goes when you keep going, because I've actually heard a bunch of people say like they were going in expecting more of the same and came out with like a greater impression of 2. Like they think 2 is now the best.
That's where I'm getting now. Is like when I started, I was like, "Fuck, dude, this is literally the same game." Yeah. And now I'm getting to parts where I'm like, "Oh shit, that's kind of cool." And then that's happening like more and more. It's like, okay, yeah, no, we're finally. This is a new video game. Like we're getting somewhere. One thing I am gonna, I guess, spoil, but it's like one of the new things that I think you can do all over the map, like one of those kind of activities where you I'll explain this. It's essentially a rhythm game. I don't really want to spoil it, but it is essentially a rhythm game, and I fucking love rhythm games. So I'm really excited to see like how hard those can get and how many other different objectives or activities that I wouldn't have expected are going to be in here. But yeah, there's some cool stuff going on.
You got to go pretend to like Taylor Swift at different points around the city to.
You're a DJ. You're just doing like a live EDM set.
Is that Miles? Does he do that, or is that Peter?
I was Miles.
Yeah. Oh, you can do it as either.
Know. Oh. I don't know. I haven't tried, but I'm assuming yes, because that's kind of how
it's only as Miles.
Dude, if that's the case, though, but
that's kind of cool.
I'm pretty sure it's one of the objectives you can do as either character.
Okay, but there are some things you can only do as one or the other, like side stuff.
Yeah.
Like Mary Jane.
I mean, the way you're wording that is.
Yeah, there's one character, man.
I mean, hey, they do both. I saw some screenshots or a trailer or something, and I saw in the subtitles, or like out loud, I think they just call each other Spider-Man. Like they're both Spider-Man, which is really weird.
Yeah, it is really weird.
So like,
especially when you as one of the Spider-Men are talking to another character that is also referencing Spider-Man, and you're Spider-Man, and then he's like, yeah, it's very much like the pointing at Spider-Man memes almost.
Okay, nice.
But
yeah, so Mary Jane. So what you're saying is Mary Jane calls both of them Spider-Man as well.
Everybody calls both of them Spider-Man, and it is confusing when they're referencing Spider-Man.
It's pretty good. Okay, nice. I actually weirdly want to play it. Like I found myself getting excited the more it was getting closer. Like, I need to play Miles though first, because otherwise I'll have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, and it's so short. It's honestly like egregiously short, but
cool. Good.
Yeah,
that's how I like my games.
Yeah, it works out. Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Merced?
The new Like a Dragon game is going to be coming out.
Oh yeah. The man who erased his name.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all are excited about that or not.
Is this the Ichiban one where the main character from the other ones is going to be in it too?
This is what was happening with Kiryu alongside Ichiban's story in Like a Dragon. So
okay, gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we're finally calming down in terms of game releases. Doesn't seem like there's a whole lot left in the year, right?
Yeah, maybe not in this year, but February, you fucking turn the corner of this year and you're going to get smacked by like 20 fucking games.
Yeah.
February is stacked, like painfully stacked. I'm just going to fucking turn my brain off to everything other than Helldivers 2 and Final Fantasy 7.
Oh yeah, Final Fantasy 7 is that soon. Wow.
Yeah, dude.
Fuck. Yeah, Helldivers 2 looks pretty good. That'll be a definite buy for me.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, no, this year I can't think of... There's like one other thing that's coming out that... We do this every time, too. We always are like, what's coming out the rest of the year? We have the same...
Yeah, we do. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like there's some more releases this month and next month, but maybe not. There's some Nintendo stuff, but I don't really care for it.
I think I am going to play RoboCop eventually.
Yo, my
game
boy.
Looks pretty fun. I didn't play the demo, but I didn't really need to know that I was going to like it. Yeah, Like a Dragon is next. Is that next week? Yeah. Wow, that's really soon. Friday.
Oh, I didn't realize the DLC for Destiny 2 is coming out that soon.
Yeah,
that's in February as well.
Is it really?
Yep.
Wow.
It's probably not going to help it.
Call of Duty on the 10th. Doesn't seem like I'm going to get that since the campaign's no good, and that's really all I get those games for.
You know, I'm glad you made that decision, because I was really sad when you said you were going to buy it. I was like, no, they don't deserve this.
I know, but the last few campaigns were honestly really good, so I'm a little bit disappointed. I'm withholding my money because the campaign is not good. Super Mario RPG
came out this year.
Yeah,
that's the Nintendo. So oh, WarioWare just came out. Holy shit!
Yeah, it did. Yeah, man. Oh yeah, and that Avatar Far Cry game is coming out in December.
Oh no.
I think that's actually going to do really well. I think a shitload of people are going to buy that Avatar game.
Definitely going to do well. I have no doubts. Biomutant comes out on the Switch. You can pick that up, Chandler.
I hope it. You guys,
30 FPS.
And then when it gets the 60 FPS patch on PS5, you can.
It already has one. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
And that game sucks anyway. Did you guys see that the Warhammer 40K Baldur's Gate game comes out in December? That's a Rogue Trader.
What? No.
Warhammer 40K Rogue Trader is like a Baldur's Gate like style like tactical RPG in the Warhammer universe. And people are really into it.
That's cool as fuck.
It's been shaping up. I've been following it a little bit. People are really excited. Seems very satisfying. Wait.
I think I might have actually already put this one on my wish list.
Yeah. It's out on December 7th. So I guess that's what I'll be doing over December. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good chatting with you fellers.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah, it was.
I'm excited to see how the rest of the year goes in terms of, not like releases, but like me catching up on things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I feel like
I've got plenty of stuff to do for the remainder of
It's actually good that there's not any more games coming out because I need some time to go back. I got to play Liza P. Got to finish Phantom Liberty. Definitely done with Starfield. Play the finals with you guys a bit. When is the finals releasing? You guys know?
Nobody knows. Yeah.
Got it. Good to know. Yeah. Anything else you guys are going to go back and catch up on? Armored Core, maybe?
I do have to finish that. Yeah. I already beat it once, but
My thing I really, really, really want to sit down and actually play is Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
I just really don't like that game by myself. Jerry has said he kind of wants to play. Chandler, you kind of voiced wanting to play, but that was before you and B Paul had kind of reached the point y'all did, so I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't like controlling the whole party. It just, I don't like it. I don't know. It's a party experience for me. I wish it kind of wasn't, so I could just sit down and do the whole thing on my own in my own time, but I just don't have fun.
We could do that. I mean, I have no reason not to, other than the fact that there just might be some gaps where I won't be able to play, and I don't want to do that to you. But
no, I mean, I'm already not playing it.
That's
so
true.
You're not.
That is true.
You're not ruining
That is true. I guess we could. Is it 2-player, or can more people do that?
Up to 4 people.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Should we just make it like a crazy thing?
In my perfect world, I would get to play with a full party of people, but that's a lot to ask. I mean, it's like a D&D session. We'd have to plan it out and be like, we have to meet up at this time, and if we miss a day,
do you think we're responsible enough to do that?
I mean, I don't think so. My weekend schedule.
My make D&D things happen. I would say yes, but
my weekend schedule is pretty consistent, I guess. But
right,
it's weekdays that are bad for me. But and it would take us years to get through the game because we'd be like, I would like to do that though. It is interesting. I played Divinity 2 that way.
Yeah.
It was like B Paul and myself and Tyler and Sean. We got into that game that way. And honestly, had Sean not been, I guess Tyler did move to Japan, which kind of threw a wrench in it. But had Sean not been just totally miserable playing that game, I think we would have gotten a lot farther. He just was not having fun.
Gotcha.
But yeah. Interesting. It is a good idea. Maybe we should talk about that some more. Actually, the more we talk about it, the more I'm like, I'm okay with that. I mean, I've already seen so much of the game. I'm so close to the end that taking our time wouldn't really bother me. That's what you think.
I guarantee, unless you make it a point to put yourself on the same path, that you will see completely new things throughout the entire.
You misunderstand. What I'm saying is that like I'm not in a rush to see that game all the way through again, so I wouldn't mind doing it slow with a party of 4 people. I wouldn't be upset with that, to be honest. But yeah, interesting. Okay.
Me also. All right, do we need to clap?
Nope, because I'm the only one recorded, right?
No, I started after you said we're back.
Oh, I see, but it won't matter because Merced.
Yeah, if you don't need it, you don't need it. I just figured I would ask. Okay.
I don't need it.
You got it, brother.
What are we clapping for?
We're clapping because it was a good show, dude. Good show. Nice job, everybody. Yeah, get it good together. Shit. Audio cancellation definitely canceled all of that out, so it's just no clapping sounds. But yeah, all right. Thanks guys. Good.
Hell yeah, man.
Good chatting with you. Peace out.
Peace.